The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is April the 13th, 2023. And I want to invite you to go to TalkRealSolutions.com. And there you will find the 3-point plan to Black empowerment and financial freedom. It has 3 points. The first point is to get together with like-minded people. The second point is to stop all unnecessary spending and save your money. The third point is, as a unit, invest or save your money in a verified and trusted institution. A great goal would be for you to open a Black-owned business. And right above the 3-point plan, you have a link to African-American-owned banks and African-American-owned credit unions. We could all start moving our money to these institutions to start practicing group economics today, and check out the rest of the links and articles on the website. Of course, that's where we'll be getting the news stories from tonight, and you can follow along on the website, or you can follow along on YouTube or Facebook as I post the links as we get to the articles. And if you want to participate in the show, all you have to do is dial the number at 717-908-1834. I'll open your mic kindly, and I will invite you to participate in the conversation that is going on. And I just ask you to don't bring no BS, because you know Tyrone don't play with the BS. And if you want, if you feel like you got something to say, or you want to defend your point, just defend your point with facts and evidence, and we can move further. We'll grow together. But throwing out conspiracies and all of that kind of stuff, that just don't fly with me over here, and a lot of people over here. No one want to hear that crap. We trying to gain information and knowledge and learn and move forward. All that phony BS. Ain't nobody trying to hear that mess. Well, I mean, it's entertaining. You can say whatever you want to say. This is America, and you do have freedom of speech, no matter how stupid it is. But that's neither here nor there. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, and once again, I am Tyrone. We do the news show on Thursday night, so that's what we'll get into tonight. And hopefully, like I always do, I'll keep you entertained and informed with one of my little ramblings here. I really don't have anything to talk about. The only thing I can really do is try to touch on some of these headlines and give you my opinion on what's going on in the world that way. Because there's so much going on. I'm not saying that because there's nothing going on. There is so much going on that it's kind of depressing. It's kind of depressing, and you're just tired of seeing all of the negative. Well, I don't know about you guys, but all of the negativity that's going on in this country. And the reason I'm so frustrated is because years ago, I basically predicted the condition of this country right now because of religious ideology, racism, and white supremacy. And when I was calling it out years ago, people didn't want to hear it. But as time goes on, everything that I said about this society that we live in today is coming true. I mean, just take the mass shootings, for instance. That's an example of exactly what I was trying to say when it comes to white supremacy, the Second Amendment, white people wanting to control everything and just doing whatever they want to do, and disrupting or misrepresenting what the Second Amendment stands for. So much so, you got a bunch of lunatics out there owning war weapons and just going shooting up schools and churches and banks and all this kind of bullshit. And nobody is really nobody's really calling white America out. Let me say that again. We've got kids dying in schools, and the only reason that this condition exists in this country is because white America insisted that the Second Amendment says something that it does not say, which gives the rights of anybody and everybody to own weapons of war unregulated, and you can't create any legislation or laws to control this. That's a fact. People, you if you fell into that, we have a right to own guns according to the Constitution. Read the motherfucking Constitution. It ain't up about 13 goddamn words. Read it. But over time, they have misrepresented and promoted this idea that in the Constitution, it has every individual has a right to bear arms. And it says it right there, a well-regulated, those are regulations, a well-regulated militia has the right to keep and bear arms, and something about that not being infringed upon, right? I don't have it in front of me, but that doesn't say anything about you as an American. So we're going to go forward saying that you got a right to bear arms and lie about the type of arms that you have access to, and these war weapons are allowed to exist in the hands of everyday Americans, and our society is suffering now. Now, you know that this is a white male-led movement because throughout history, that's who's been screwing up societies wherever they touch on the planet. That's just a fact. And being that people are not pushing back and they falling for the propaganda, nobody's pushing back on getting any control over this stuff. So prepare next week, week after, soon, in the near future, for another massacre to happen at somebody's elementary school, which is the saddest thing in the world because children do not deserve to be sitting in class with Crayola crayons, coloring books, saying their ABCs, learning their ABCs, probably joking and playing and laughing. They do not, that group of people do not deserve to be exposed to the sound of machine guns in their environment. That's That's just a sad state of affairs of this country that we live in. You know. But anyway, we got the mass shootings going on. We got the the racists that stole the documents from the military and shared them online, that compromised national security with the secret documents that he stole. And of course, it's another white man that does extremist stuff like this. Then you got Tennessee. We talked about that last week, where they're led by the KKK that expelled 2 black congressmen for speaking up about the terrible state of this country and guns and people dying. You know, so you got that. There's just so much going on. You got Clarence Thomas, who's the most corrupt Supreme Court justice that probably ever sit on the bench, that has enriched himself off of that office by accepting gifts from this person named Harley Quinn. The same Clarence Thomas who supported the overthrowing of the government that he's supposed to be a justice of. The same Clarence Thomas who did not recuse himself from the decisions made about January the 6th, and his wife was an active participant in that insurrection. And this country is allowing that man to just sit on the bench, be corrupt, and make decisions. That Clarence Thomas. You have, I don't know what states. All I heard was the headlines about these radical right-wing judges that are making decisions about women in this country and their access to abortion or their medical health, and they're taking rights away from people in this country. The latest thing is that they're banning pills from being sold to the country based on I don't know what. You know, that's just weird to me. And the thing is whenever Roe versus Wade got overturned in the Supreme Court justice, I am one of the first ones to say that that is not the end of what this radical, right-wing, authoritarian mindset of these people, that is not the end. Roe versus Wade was not the end, right? And then you heard people come on here and say, no. That's about it. But no, that was just that was the beginning. And all of these restrictions to women right, this is just the beginning. Because if they have a platform or formula to use their power to restrict women and reverse laws for women, everything else is on the table that was passed or that has been amended to this Constitution. Everything else is on the table. Your interracial marriage, your access to the ballot box, right? Hell, I'll even go as far as say is black people are restricted to do certain things in this country. That's not even far-fetched idea. Whenever you look at these radical people that are making decisions in this country, whenever you look at the book banning. Whenever you look at Texas governor contemplating pardoning a murderer that killed someone at a Black Lives Matter protest, he murdered him. You're looking at the Texas governor contemplating pardoning this guy whenever he gets sentenced because he was at a Black Lives Matter protest. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that African American rights will be attacked specifically if these people continue down the path that they're headed. You know, that's just a thing. And all of this goes back to me speaking on how dangerous religion is, and people push back on me and all this kind of stuff. I told you guys what a theocracy would look like. I told you that based on their doctrine, of course, no one is holding up the Bible and they're saying that they are following that doctrine, but it's clear where these ideas are coming from, right? It is clear that in the Bible, the descendants of Ham is cursed. That is clear. It is clear in the Bible that homosexuality is abominations. That is clear. It is clear in the Bible that the rights of women are restricted. You feel me? all of this stuff that is happening now, you can politically trace it right back to the Bible. Everything. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. It doesn't matter if you are so politically involved that you are blinded by where this stuff is coming from. You can trace the restrictive way that they're treating women to the Bible. You can trace the anti-Black Lives Matter, the CRT book banning. You can trace the voter restriction for Black people. You can trace the anti-LGBT. You can trace all of that stuff right back to the Bible. But people didn't want to hear me telling you what a theocracy would look like. But these people are going head first with the evangelical way of governing. And they'll tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene actually said it out of her mouth that she would like to see this country be Christian nationalist. That is bonkers. But, you know, I had to pull back on my religious rhetoric. I had to, you know, kind of pull back because people was getting all upset and Tyrone, you can't prove this and you can't say that about my Jeebus and all of this. So I kind of pulled back because I didn't want to, you know, I'm a Black man and I know when I'm hurting my people with these facts, with this truth, I know that it was hurting. I can hear it in your voice. When you call in and ask me to prove what I prove and I present these facts, prove to me that the earth was created in 7 days. Prove to me that the angel Gabriel ain't a rapist according to your book. Prove to me that he ain't a rapist and a child molester. Prove that to me. Because your age is 13. This is a grown-ass angel and he's having sex with a baby for somebody who's invisible and he impregnates this child. You see, that hurts. And I know that, and I should not be constantly saying things like that, but it is what it is. But what my point is, by invoking that line of thought in this conversation, is to show you that the mentality of the right wing of America is solely based in that Bible, and they're pushing legislations and agenda based off of their beliefs. These judges on the bench are making decisions based off of their beliefs, because I just told you there was a federal judge that banned abortion pills, not based off of science, because clearly the medical industry cleared that medication for years and it's safe according to the FDA, because people were taking that medication scientifically. There was nobody dying from it, nobody getting sick from it. It was being sold across the counter in drugstores because the science said it was safe. Then you have a federal judge based off of whatever his feelings and his beliefs try to ban this medication from women. Once again, that's trying to control women and American women. If you listening to me tonight, I know there's about 1.5 people listening right now, but if you're listening to me, I'm telling you, give it about 5 or 10 years and your ass gonna be wearing a damn hijab. You gonna have on a Christian hijab. You gonna have on burqas and covered up from head to feet. You know, according to that Bible, you only supposed to dress a certain way, right? I think it's you kind of supposed to dress like those Jehovah's Witnesses that be knocking on people's doors, and that's just the thing that y'all gonna have to do. It ain't gonna be no more twerking on TikTok and all that, because you're gonna have to wear that skirt. If they get their way, you're gonna have to button up. Can't wear no pants no more. You gotta dress like a woman. They're gonna turn this country into Iran, according to their religion, because they're not gonna stop. Once somebody is successful at something, right, which they were successful at Roe versus Wade, they're going to continue to go down that path and get more and more accomplishments. Now, what throws me off politically is that their ideas are not popular. So how are they able to achieve all of this success, right? Well, because the KKK rigged the system. They rigged the system with these judges. They rigged the system because they got a process that they go through to get indoctrinated into this way of thinking. If you look at those judges on the Supreme Court, they went through this thing called the Federalist Society. There's a whole YouTube channel, not a whole YouTube channel, but there's a whole YouTube video about those Supreme Court justices, the one that we have right now, attending this Federalist Society function, and they're cheering on restricting access for women's health care. That is a real thing. Because when these people start talking about cabals and secret societies and the elite, well, Harley Quinn, Clarence Thomas's buddy, is the elite, right? But y'all want to yell George Soros. You want to talk about the cabal? Well, the Federalist Society is a cabal, right? But y'all want to make up shit and say globalists or whatever, right? You come up with these conspiracies. That's why you got to bring facts. If you're going to say some globalist did something to me, point them out to me. I can show you the organization of the Federalist Society. Right? If you're going to say George Soros did something, show the proof. Well, we got pictures of Clarence Thomas with his coon ass sitting in Indonesia with Harley Quinn. Show me that shit. Right? That's called proof and evidence. Don't tell me about some mystery that George Soros done did for the Democrats and all this kind of bullshit. Prove it. Prove it. You know, but they don't, because they're like Fox News, and they just come up with all these conspiracies and all of that. And speaking of Fox News, I don't know if y'all been following the Dominion Fox News lawsuit, but now there's an actual audio out there, and I'm not downloaded for the show. I didn't download it before this show. There's an actual audio out there of a Fox News producer talking to a Trump campaign person, and the Trump campaign person literally says that they can't find anything wrong with the Dominion machines. They say it on the phone before a show, before the Bataramo show. He said on the phone that there's nothing wrong with the Dominion machines. But before they go on the air, well, after they go on the air, they continue to push that lie about Dominion voting system. This is why they're going to lose that damn lawsuit. And the reason that I'm bringing it up is because you got a whole bunch of people that believe that lie about the 2020 election, and they'll come in here and argue with you. It was so bad that they actually motivated people to go and try to overthrow the damn Capitol. They try to motivate people. What's up, Angela? I ain't see you in there. And ABC, kiss my ass. Call in, nigga. Yes, I'm still on Trump derangement or whatever the fuck. You can call it whatever the hell you want to. Yeah, he making the whole goddamn country deranged. For 10 goddamn years, we've been talking about this motherfucker. And I'm tired of him being in the headline every damn day. Please, somebody lock this motherfucker up. Take him out of the conversation. Just get rid of Donald Trump. We can't talk about nothing else except for this piece of shit. Do you know how fucking frustrating it is? I want to talk about other things. I want to talk about politics for black people. I probably want to talk about things, diet, nutrition, bubblegum and lollipops, any goddamn thing except for damn Donald Trump. But this motherfucker has found a way to keep himself relevant in the media for going on 10 motherfucking years. That is crazy to me. And without any contribution to this society. As a matter of fact, he's getting held accountable for his criminal behavior right now. And these people like dumbass ABC is still carrying his water. Because ABC is one of those people that believed Donald Trump and went to Old McDonald's farm, found him a horse, and took that horse's medicine for himself to protect himself from coronavirus. That's what ABC did on Old McDonald's farm. What's up, East Coast? So ABC is invested into what Donald Trump say because he said on this show, I can't even get it out of my mouth. Oh my goodness, that was some dumb shit. He said on this show that he took ivermectin. That is funny to me. I'm sorry. But if it weren't for Donald Trump, a person like ABC would not have even thought about ivermectin. Oh God. Okay, let me get back serious. I was serious one time, but ABC, you a damn fool. Okay, let me straighten my face back up. I got the where was I at? Shit. Motherfucker took horse medicine with Donald Trump. And this son of a bitch stealing documents and shit. Oh God. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, okay. I'm together now. All right, so where we at? we're talking about Fox News and how in this lawsuit that everything that I said, that Jay New York said, that Mama's Boy said, that East Coast and Frodo and everybody with common sense has been calling out about Fox News for years. But we have to argue with idiots because they believe conspiracies and Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and all that. We already knew this shit. All the judge need to do is slam the goddamn gavel down and scream out guilty so we can move the fuck on. Just slam the damn gavel down. Fox News, guilty. Tucker Carlson, guilty. Sean Hannity, guilty. Guilty, 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 so America can move the fuck on. Now, you still gonna have them dumbasses that believe in conspiracy theories. You still gonna have them dumbasses that believe in conspiracy theories. Yeah, he didn't do nothing for us. GDP growth, tax cuts, secure border, ME peace accords, fair trade. Shut the fuck up, Sarge. See, Sarge is another one of them Kool-Aid drinking Sarge ass zombies. You know, listen, we can't help them people. People like Sarge and people like ABC, they're just gone. They're like fucking first graders, you know, and they're in a classroom by themselves without a teacher, and they're just running from fucking toy box to toy box, throwing the fucking toys all over the room, and every once in a while they'll stick a fucking block in their mouth or put a Lego up in their ear or what. They're just fucking kids. You know, every time they get a conspiracy, that's that Lego going in your mouth. No, baby, take that Lego out of your mouth, right? You're going to choke on that. You can't run with water in your hand. You know, that's them conspiracies about the 2020 election. No, ABC, you can't go outside on your own. You're too young. That's that coronavirus bullshit. We're going to have to escort you outside. You're going to have to go outside with the adults. You know, because if we let you outside, you may find a horse and take his medicine. That's why we have to keep an eye on people like ABC and Sarge. You know, they're like fucking adolescent children. So, you know, I don't have no hate for those guys or whatever. They lived their life. They had their careers and they did whatever they did in their life. But at some point in time, something happened. And now they batshit crazy. Both of them. And I think it was the time when Fox News started gaining ground with this propaganda and Barack Obama. And there was a time where, what was that happened? After 9/11, the government did some shit. What was that did? They instituted 9/11. What was that? I forgot what they did. But after 9/11, they took the rights away from Americans. Around that time, around Barack Obama, that's when these motherfuckers became crazy. And they became crazier and crazier ever since, with the conspiracies and the chemtrails and all. I haven't heard that in a while, you know, thankfully, about how, you know, planes are flying over our head poisoning us. So we ain't heard they that was a big thing for a while with the chemtrails. But yeah, they crazy now. So what we have to do with them people is we have to let them talk, right? We have to allow them a chance to vent their frustrations, share with us how crazy they are. We need to hear everything that they say, right? So what we do is when we hear this crazy shit, either at the time or soon after, we need to bring the facts back around so we can educate the people. Because we can't leave that crazy shit on the table, because they might be a young, impressionable person or older, impressionable person that is convinced that these motherfuckers know what they're talking about. I'll give you a prime example. Whenever somebody call in here and they want to know anything about the law, they scream they want to talk to Sarge. That is the biggest goddamn mistake you could ever make. Because this motherfucker don't give a shit about the law. He don't give a shit about the Constitution. He probably don't even give a shit about the instructions on his fucking blender machine, because he don't give a fuck about rules. That's just the way it is. So you can talk to him and hear his misrepresentation of the Constitution and the goddamn law, but what you need to do is read for yourself. It's easy. You know, and Google makes it easy. All you have to do is put in a term that you're looking for. It'll pull up the law. It'll pull up the legal way that, you know, it's supposed to be said. And you can read it for yourself. Don't listen to these motherfuckers, right? Do not listen to these motherfuckers because they're batshit crazy. You have this lady out in Arizona now that clearly lost an election. Kari Lake lost an election. Now, I don't know when the election was, but it's been some months now. When was the election? What is this, 2023? Well, it was the midterm election, so I guess it was 2022 sometime. This motherfucker clearly lost an election. But for some fucking reason, she is still running around talking about the election was stole. And she got motherfuckers like Sarge to call in here and tell us that he's going to give us the evidence to prove what fucking Kari Lake is saying is true. That's how crazy this motherfucker is. To this day, he has not presented a goddamn thing to prove what Kari Lake is saying is true. But if I talk to him tonight, I guarantee you that dumbass is going to say that Kari Lake won that election. You see? That's why you have to baby these motherfuckers. Even if I talk to him about the 2020 election, somehow or another, he's going to tell us that Joe Biden is not the legitimate president and the election was stolen because of this fucking movie called 2000 Mules. That's what happens. So you have to baby these motherfuckers. You have to, okay, so I'm listening to you. And, you know, what are you saying happened? You have to baby them like that. And that's how I have to do. So I don't know how the hell I got on Sarge and ABC besides them typing that dumb shit in the chat room. Let me see what he's saying. Nigga Roach even falls back on this Dominion crap. Sarge, here is the fucking, you know what? You're an idiot. Here, you know, see, I got to respond to him because he's an idiot. Here. Okay, right here. Look. I just typed in Fox News Dominion. Y'all see it for yourself. Fox News was sanctioned for withholding evidence in this Dominion lawsuit. Now that's NBC. That is the New York Times. That is CNN, Vanity Fair, CBS. All of these organizations is telling you that Fox News is lying in their deposition and withholding information. So it ain't that I'm on the Dominion shit. It's that the news source that you use is a fucking propaganda machine, and you too stupid to realize that they've been lying to your dumb ass, and they put a battery in your back and got you pushing their political message, coming over here talking to somebody as ingenious as I am and thinking that I'm just going to sit here and listen to your dumb shit. That's what the problem is, Sarge. Rupert Murdoch has got all of you fucking idiots taking horse medicine taking horse medicine, and kissing Donald Trump's ass. That's what the hell going on. So, I mean, I ain't got to argue with you. Read the fucking goddamn article your goddamn self, you dumb son of a bitch. That's all you got to do. Yeah, let me put this link in the chat room so your dumb ass can read it for your damn self. There you go. And not only that, the text messages that come out of this trial showing that Tucker Carlson knows that he's lying to you, showing that Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham, knowing that y'all are dumb, but they have to push this narrative any goddamn way because y'all stupid and y'all won't watch their show unless they say it exactly what y'all want to say. That ain't even news. That's just propaganda. I was gonna read this long ass article, but I ain't finna do that. Let me see if Elisa put it up here. Nah, I ain't finna read that damn article. But listen, that's y'all being stupid. Everything that we've said, everything that you've called in here and argue with us about is being proven true in this lawsuit. So we don't even have to fucking argue with you no more. We really don't even have to argue with you no more. Because, I mean, this lawsuit is proving what we said about Fox News. Let me see who's on the line. Somebody called in. Ain't nobody called in. So y'all got to listen to me, to this country boy. Stumble through this article. Hold on for a minute now. See how this thing do this shit? I hate when websites do this bullshit here. So maybe I'll go to another website. Who we got? Judge sanctioned. Let's click on NBC News. Y'all got pop-ups. Well, y'all can't see that shit, but hold on. All right, yeah, let's do this one. That's Justin from State Farm. Colonial Penn, I'm sorry. Y'all ever watch this commercial? I'm Justin from Colonial Penn. I guess y'all don't never see that commercial. All right, Fox News sanctioned for withholding evidence in the Dominion defamation case. The judge is giving Dominion voting system a chance to conduct another deposition at Fox's expense. All right, Delaware Superior Court Judge Eric Davis on Wednesday sanctioned Fox News and its parent company, Fox Corp, for withholding evidence in the Dominion defamation lawsuit and said he is considering further investigation and censure. One of the Grossberg's attorneys, Paris Filipito, or whoever the fuck it is, said that the lawyers for Dominion voting system played a recording for Fox News producer Abby Grossberg that was made during the 2020 election, which were not handed over by the Dominion. Now, Abby Grossberg is a Maria Bartiromo producer, and she is suing Fox News also because the Fox News lawyers was working for her, and they was telling her to withhold information during this case, and she didn't feel right about doing that. So she got rid of the Fox lawyers and got her own lawyers, and now she's free to say whatever the fuck she want to say, and she's exposing Fox News. This is an employee that worked at Fox News. An interview with MSNBC's Alice Wagner tonight, this person, Philip Potato, shared an audio also played during Wednesday night court proceedings with Rudy Giuliani telling Fox News Maria Bartiromo in November 2020 that it's a little harder to tell you. It's being analyzed right now. When asked about the voting software, Giuliani also said he can't prove that the then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had any interest in Dominion. In a second clip on December the 20th, Trump official can be heard telling Fox News there weren't any physical issues with the voting machines during the inspection. So that shoots your goddamn 2000 Mew movie slam out the window. It shoots Donald Trump's claim that there was fraud in the election slam out the window. It shoots your whole motivation behind calling in here, screaming and yelling about the 2020 election, slam out the window. It shoots all of the motherfuckers that showed up on January the 6th at the Capitol to overthrow the election based off of the goddamn lie, slam out the window. You motherfuckers have been programmed when the Trump campaign staff himself is saying there was no issues with the goddamn voting machine. You sorry motherfuckers. Grossberg, a former Fox News producer and host of Baltaramo and Tucker Carlson, has sued Fox News and said in her deposition was coerced. In the amending filing on Tuesday, she said she had a recording of conversation with Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and others. The judge sanctions gives Dominion a chance to conduct another deposition at Fox's expense. As counsel explained in the court, Fox produces supplemental information from Ms. Grossberg when we first learned that Fox News said in a statement on Wednesday. The surprise evidence and sanctions come day before the schedule to begin the $1.6 billion defamation case against Dominion voting system filed against Fox News and Fox Corp. Davis also said Wednesday he was considering appointing a special master. This is where a special master comes into hand, not at Trump Mar-a-Lago stealing goddamn document. He was considering a special master to investigate Fox legal team. This is how a special master worked. Not that dumb shit that Donald Trump did out there in Florida. He didn't need no special master. That's why they got rid of him. In a statement, Grossberg attorneys said that she would be willing to speak with the special master if appointed one. We are pleased that the court can recognize that the very serious... Okay, so here, I ain't going to read all that. But here's what happened. Is that Fox News, whenever you're doing a court, they do this thing to where you have to turn over evidence from each side. And everybody gets to explore the evidence that they have. And they kept these tapes from Dominion, right? So being that they kept the... tapes from Dominion, and now it's just now getting revealed. Hold on, let me see. And now it's just now getting revealed that the tapes exist. The judge sanctioned them because they damn near, they kind of broke the law by not giving the evidence over to the other side. And this evidence proves Dominion's claim about Fox News knowing that their claims against Dominion was false. I'm going to download these audios so y'all can hear it, because I'm not doing a good job in explaining it. But these audios prove that Dominion's case, because Abby Grossberg, because in the audio, the Trump campaign actually says that there was no there with the Dominion voting system. So basically, hell, Dominion has basically won this goddamn case. Hold on, y'all know I can't do two things at one time. I'll do that later. Abby Grossberg audio, Dominion. Hold on. Shit, I can't just download that audio by itself. But anyway, I'll get it for you later, and I'll play it. I think it's on this Alice Witt show, but I don't want to hear her whole goddamn. I don't want to hear her whole damn segment, because y'all know me. For some reason, I get strikes all the goddamn time. I'm working with a strike now. So, but I'll try to download it, let you hear. But basically, the damn lady, whenever before a show, they do these calls pre-shows, and the lady was on the phone with Trump campaign person and Rudy Giuliani, and they record these calls. But during the lawsuit, when the Fox lawyers was over this lady, the Fox lawyers didn't allow this evidence to be presented. They was kind of concealed it from the case. And then when this lady got released from the Fox lawyers, she was able to say, okay, well, I got this evidence, and you guys need to hear it. But it was after everybody was supposed to turn the evidence over to each other. So that's why Fox got sanctioned by the judge, because they was trying to conceal this information from the case. So that alone tell you that the person that SARS support, the person that ABC support, the person that any of you goddamn Fox News goddamn groupies support, is lying. It's straight up lying to you, but you so stupid and you so caught up on what the white man is saying, because that's what it is, a KKK network, that you want to push their narrative constantly without even looking at the evidence. And this is nothing that I'm making up. There's an actual court case going on right now that these people are giving testimony in. They have to tell the truth under oath, and I'm just reporting what is coming out of this damn court case. That's it. I'm not making up anything. I'm not taking nobody's word for it. I'm not let me see if this will play. Hold on. Lord, you know what? Fuck that. This is what I'm gonna try to do. Is I'll try to see, but I hate to do that because it's Alex Witt's show, and motherfucker, if y'all flag me, I'm gonna kick y'all ass, every one of you.
If there is one thing we have learned from the Fox Dominion lawsuit, it is this. What Fox does on air and what Fox employees think and say off air, well, those are not always in sync. And tonight we have exclusive, newly released audio that shows that when it came to the big lie itself, even the central players knew there was no there. But let me back up. A few weeks ago, a former senior producer of Tucker Carlson's show, who used to be a senior producer for Fox News host Maria Bartiromo's show, a woman by the name of Abby Grossberg, she sued Fox News. Essentially, Ms. Grossberg believed she was being set up as the scapegoat or the fall guy in the gigantic Fox Dominion defamation lawsuit.
What I do is I'll break up there and I'm going to try to get to these audios, because you need to hear the Trump producer say whatever the hell it is he say. But she's explained pretty much, more eloquently than I did what I just said based off of this article I just read. So let's see what else we got. Hold on.
Grossberg told Fox's lawyer she had these types of recordings. She was pretty upfront about that, but Fox never handed them over to Dominion during the...
If you can tell us about...
On Fox News's dime. Judge's orders. Now, we don't know if Dominion is actually going to do that, but these tapes were explosive enough that the judge literally sanctioned Fox News for not sharing them. Abby Grossberg and her legal team have let us have these recordings tonight. So without further ado, this is Rudy Giuliani and Fox News host Maria Bartiromo talking off air on November 8th, 2020. Off air, Mr. Giuliani seems pretty candid about the fact that he really has no evidence that there is anything wrong with the Dominion voting machines.
Okay, so you get ready to hear Rudy Giuliani discount your 2,000 views, all that bullshit that motivated these motherfuckers to go to January the 6th and turn over the goddamn Capitol. Whatever the fuck has got Sarge angry in the chat room right now about the election, you getting ready to hear Trump's lawyer tell you that you're a fucking idiot.
I'm going to be asking you for as much evidence as you can tell us about these lawsuits. Whatever you can tell us in terms of evidence would be really helpful. Okay, great.
I can tell you exactly what we have.
Perfect. And what about this software, this Dominion software?
That's a little harder
troubling
to tell you. Right, it's being analyzed right now. I mean, there are a couple of races that have been reversed because the Democrat was triple counted, two already in Michigan. Now, whether that applies to the whole state or not, I can't tell you yet.
This Dominion software, does Nancy Pelosi have an interest in it?
I've read that. I can't prove that yet.
Okay.
Can't prove that. That was Rudy Giuliani, the face of the big lie, privately downplaying that he knew anything about Dominion voting machines. And then there is this conversation from December 5th, 2020. This is a call between Maria Bartiromo and Trump campaign officials themselves.
Are any of the machines, I know it was on War Room the other day with Steve Bannon, have any of the machines been looked at? He had said that one was looked at in Georgia.
I'd have to check on that in terms of Georgia. I know during the audit they did check on those machines. They're really,
Hold on, because y'all the only one hearing this. YouTube, the fucking phone call ain't hearing this. Hold on for 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. I just realized that it wasn't being played on the free conference. So what I have to do is go over here. And I'm sorry. I just screwed that up. But I'll get you where you're supposed to be at. With this last conversation. Sometimes it'll do that where I know YouTube was listening, but the conference call didn't hear a damn thing. So give me 1 second, and I'll continue. So hold on.
If there's one thing we have learned from the Fox Dominion lawsuit, Romo talking off air.
Interested in it?
I've read that. Now, a couple of races that have been I can tell you exactly what we have.
Perfect. And what about...
And he seems pretty candid about the fact that he really has no evidence that there's anything wrong with the Dominion voting.
Okay, this is Giuliani.
I'm going to be asking you for as much evidence as you can tell us about these lawsuits. Whatever you can tell us in terms of evidence would be really helpful. Okay, great.
I can tell you exactly what we have.
Perfect. And what about this software, this Dominion software?
That's a little harder
troubling
to tell you. Right, it's being analyzed right now. I mean, there are a couple of races that have been reversed because the Democrat was triple counted, two already in Michigan. Now, whether that applies to the whole state or not, I can't tell you yet.
This Dominion software, does Nancy Pelosi have an interest in it?
I've read that. I can't prove that yet.
Okay.
Can't prove that. That was Rudy Giuliani, the face of the big lie, privately downplaying that he knew anything about Dominion voting machines. And then there is this conversation from December 5th, 2020. This is a call between Maria Bartiromo and Trump campaign officials themselves.
Are any of the machines, I know it was on War Room the other day with Steve Bannon, have any of the machines been looked at? He had said that one was looked at in Georgia.
I'd have to check on that in terms of Georgia. I know during the audit they did check on those machines. They're really, if we can just go off the record for 1 sec here.
Yeah, of course. I don't want us to say it if it's not. That's why we're checking.
I think they have looked at the machines. When the Secretary of State did its audit, there was a fair bit of looking at the machines. The audit came in pretty darn close to what the machine count was. with the receipts. So, I don't know the outcome of those, but our understanding, again, this is from the Secretary of State's office, is that there weren't any physical issues with machines on those inspections.
Again, that was on December 5th, 2020. Trump campaign officials saying there weren't any physical issues with Dominion voting machines.
All right, so that's basically the what I wanted y'all to hear, because I'm reading this article. Sarge is flipping out in the damn chat room because he's an idiot. This is stuff that Maria Bartiromo was saying before her show. What does that mean? She's getting told that there's no issues with the Dominion voting machine. She's getting told by Rudy Giuliani he don't know if Nancy Pelosi is involved. He don't know. She's getting told that before the show, right? And then she turned her ass around and go on the show and lie about the damn election and the fucking fraud and the Dominion. This is why at the tune of $1 billion, Fox News is being sued because these motherfuckers was pushing a narrative to idiots like the one that's in my damn chat room because they was doing it for ratings. That's why. I know that's a kind of little complicated for Sarge to comprehend right now. And ABC, you might need to take a goddamn horse pill or whatever the hell you need to do with your ivermectin. But damn it, these are facts. I didn't make this up. I'm just calling you a damn fool. And we have been calling you a damn fool ever since you've been coming over here promoting that bullshit. I mean, goddamn. It's just crystal clear. And this is stuff that, we can have conversations about and debate. But whenever you got the players' actual voice in conversations admitting to what the fuck they did wrong, you can't. 2000 Mules was about ballot harvesting. Bitch, Sarge, what is wrong with you? He's still trying to argue 2000 Mules. There was no ballot harvesting. That is a conspiracy. That is a conspiracy that Denise DeShusha made up so you can sit in this chat room and type that dumb shit tonight and I can call you a fool. So please stop saying the damn ballot harvesting. That is not true. You can't talk about COVID and ivermectin. You still on YouTube. I can tell you a damn fool for taking those horse pills, ABC, because it's unsafe. It's not recommended by the fucking FDA or the CDC. I could tell you a damn fool. You just embarrassed that you took the goddamn horse pills. Not voting machines, you idiot. Oh, golly. You know what? I'm done talking. Y'all can call in and talk if y'all want to. I've been talking for an hour. We got an unknown caller on the line. Who is this? Hello.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Gigi?
Hi, Tyrone. This is so enjoyable. You have no idea. But I would like to say that there are people who are saying that in the media that they took the ivermectin, but that doesn't mean they really took it. So I kind of feel bad for the people who took it because they believe that's what their heroes and idols said to do. So I kind of feel bad for people who took that stuff. Also, are you waiting for Angela to call in? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Angela's on the line. Are you trying to say Elisa or Angela?
Angela.
Angela is on the line. I just opened her line.
Oh, great. Okay. But I just wanted to call. Well, you really kicking out them B words and F words, man. I mean,
What B words?
You just call him a bitch.
Oh, well, because he is a bitch.
Well,
I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry, but shit, that's what he is.
Playing and I cursed. too, unfortunately. But man, that one came out like with vengeance, I would say. But anyway, I'm done. This is a great monologue. Hi,
All right.
Elisa. Hi, Angela.
Hey, what's up, Angela? You there? Hello.
Maybe that's her that keeps calling in.
Can y'all hear me?
There you go. What's up?
Yes.
What's
Okay,
happening?
I was muted all this time. Hey,
Well-
Gigi. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Tyrone.
Well, let me see. What's up, Angela? Let me see who this other caller is. Who's this caller right here?
Okay.
Man, about ready to kick your goddamn ass.
Okay, so you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to put that on pause for a second. Go ahead, Angela. What's up?
Man, it is so good to hear your voice. You really know how to keep people riled up, get them riled up, and keep them there. But I was listening to you from the beginning, man, and you were saying some profound stuff when you talked about pretty much what I heard was the Constitution is being chipped away at so much. You said they won with Roe v. Wade, right? Mm-hmm. And we know that the Constitution is what we consider to be the supreme law of the land. But after a while, you have to question what is really going on. I'm from Mississippi, right? Mm-hmm. And we know that the Jim Crow laws are still around. They just renamed them and, changed the lawmakers and did whatever was necessary. Look at Jackson. Jackson is being turned into like I don't know, a cesspool of nothing but whatever the lawmakers down there want it to be. David Duke, I want to talk about, because you said the women are going to have to, the twerking and the stuff like that is going to have to stop in a few years, because they're not going to be able to do that on TikTok, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Well, and you also mentioned about the Christian nationalists. I was going to call in right before you said it. This thing is so toxic, going back to Fox News, because what's going on, Tyrone, people have their own or their favorite personality or favorite reporter who they like to listen to, but this thing has proven to be toxic. Turn it down. It has proven to be toxic, and the people, in my opinion, their viewers will need to detox. Mm-hmm. And even if they are settling, these defamation lawsuits or whatever, I believe they should be made to apologize for about 2 weeks on the air. And, regardless of what their ratings might prove to be in the meantime, they should have to help with the detoxing process. And we know people are still going to listen and love this, but understand that this narrative, they're telling you exactly, Tyrone is playing for you what was said, okay? But to sit there and continue to believe the narrative, hey, that's on you. But I want to go back to that Christian nationalist thing. That thing is so toxic. It's nothing but white nationalists, right? And they're getting okay, well, we're going to reinvent this thing, get it like a sub category, if you will, but it's all the same thing. So what is a Christian nationalist? When I saw it, it broke my heart. I said, now, you're going to have evangelicals endorsing this narrative, and they are doing it. They're doing it. Hey, we're going to be Christian nationalists. Well, what about Jesus, Mr. Evangelical? Well, what about the message that you're supposed to be talking, as opposed to talking politics and your favorite politician? And you said, you talked about our Bible, because I do, go by the Bible. And I'm jumping all over the place here, but I wanted to talk a little bit about David Duke, because when you said something about they're going to have to cover their bodies, David Duke was trying to tell them back in the day, look, y'all need to be having babies, but you know what? Our white female counterparts were saying, we are going to have a house, 2 kids, and 5 dogs, a cat. They didn't want a house full of kids like what we were already doing, right? Not that we even wanted a whole bunch of children. But guess what? We continue to reproduce. And even in our music, You got I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. We had music that told us, okay, go make some babies. Keep making babies. But in the white community, the more conservative view was, okay, we're going to go to college and then this, that, da, 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 da. The white woman began to fight against her white man. She even resented him. Okay, and I don't doubt that with this anti-abortion thing, that they are still having this unspoken fight that they were having back in the day. No, we're not going to have your baby. We're just not going to do. We want to go and work. We want to be career women, right? But the death birth rate ratio, or however you say it, is outweighing. They're just dying out. And it's almost like these lawmakers know something we don't know, right? They know that these babies are not being born at a fast rate like they want them to be. So now what I'm understanding now is there is a campaign or a challenge out there for white women to have babies. I bet you can't get pregnant type of campaign, But I'm going to be quiet because I know some other people want to talk. But when you talked about they're gonna have to change this and change that as far as the women are concerned. This abortion thing, this is not for us. This ain't for black women. We will take it and make it our fight, but this ain't about us. Every radio station that you tune into, if it's talk, they're talking what's important to them, and they're speaking to a specific audience, right? They're not talking to us. They're telling the white girls, look, you need to shape up and get right and get pregnant because we're going to stop you from buying these abortion pills. And for the horse pill, I took the ivermectin.
Oh, Lord. No, you didn't.
I took it.
Oh, well, ABC, you not by yourself. You got somebody else on here taking a damn horse pill.
Look, I think I just canceled out everything I said before this.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Hey, Wilbur.
That's all right. But listen, I agree with what you said, right? But listen, guys, and I'm gonna go to Sarge, and then I'm gonna welcome Elisa after I say this right here, and then I'll get you, Sarge. But listen, this is what I'm saying is that the plantation owners use the Bible to justify slavery, right? Because in there it says slaves obey your earthly masters. So what that has evolved into is them secretly using that Bible to justify this oppression towards women and controlling women. They're not advertising it, but they're telling women that they need to be in their place. The man is going to control what you do and say. And yes. It's one of these things to where that it's the evangelicals do it. Now, listen, I don't have anything against anybody's religion. I just like pointing this out, and it's your job as a believer to go correct these people. Telling them that they promoting your faith the wrong way. There need to be more voices that's speaking out against all of these extreme Christian people that saying what it just
ideology.
Yeah. So, Miss Elisa, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight, sis?
Miss Elisa.
Hi, guys.
There you go.
Can you hear me? Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
All right. You got anything to put out?
No, not really. I heard your monologue. I agree. As long as people will still believe in Jesus and the book, they're going to always have them. That's the only thing I got to add to it.
This service is provided in high definition by free conference call HD.
Who was that, Gigi? Uh-oh, that was Gigi. I'm sorry, that was Gigi. She hung up, though. But go ahead, Miss Elisa.
No, that's fine. No, as long as they still believe in the Bible and the book, they're going to always have them. So people just have to learn how to, it's not for me to say. If whatever works, whatever floats the people float, go for it. But you got to use a little bit of common sense and not to take that book and not to take everything literally. And you have to respect that other people don't believe in that, and to respect other people's thoughts and other people's beliefs, non-beliefs, what have you. Because they're trying to turn the country into something that it should not. Trying to turn the country back into something that it should not be. If whatever you believe, I respect that. Respect what I don't believe. So I think that's the big problem that we have going on now. So I don't know. I'm glad I am the age that I am now. I'm glad I'm not 22, 18, 19, because it depends upon where things go. I just, could not conceive of being a very young adult and what's going on right now with everybody. Because it's no respect. It's my way or the highway. It's what I believe. That's what everybody's going to go along with, what I believe. So that's the problem that I have with everything that's going on right now. The video that you played, what is that? With Barbarossa on the phone with
Giuliani and the campaign person.
Yeah, I hear a phone ringing. What is that? Do you hear it?
No, it's not me. Oh yeah, I do. Who is that? It's coming from your line, ain't it?
No, nobody's not calling me.
Okay.
No, it's not coming from me. Oh, let me check my tablet, see if anybody's trying to reach me through. No.
Yeah.
Well, it stopped, whatever it was.
Okay.
It stopped, whatever it was. Giuliani is a disgrace. Fox News is a disgrace. The senator from South Carolina is a disgrace. Much of the government is a disgrace. And I'll go back to what I said before. Hence the reason I am happy that I'm not 19, 18, 21, a young grownish adult, because it's awful. And I'm not sure what it's going to be. And you know what I was thinking? I see how DeSantis is maneuvering down there in Florida, and some of the other southern states, how their governors and politicians and things, how they're maneuvering in the southern states. We might be better off with Trump. It's just getting, not as president, no, but getting the Republican nomination, beating DeSantis and all them other people out, because that man is dangerous, and some of these other people from some of the other Republican states are dangerous. And maybe we better off Trump getting the nomination and whatever Democrat beats him. I think that might be the best strategy. I don't know how you feel about that, Tyrone, but that's where I'm at right now.
Well, yeah, the entire Republican Party are extremists. I wouldn't even call them Republicans no more, because in order for me to think about them as Republicans, like a legitimate political party, they would have to offer policies and not be so divisive, and not be so hateful and all of that kind of stuff, and actually care about the American people. Whenever you see a party watch children die and get murdered in this country and stand there and sit on their hands and not say anything to try to prevent this massacre of our children in this country, that's not a political party. They don't even care about they don't even care about its own citizens. All they care about is gaining power and worshiping one authoritarian leader. That's I don't know what you call that. They fascists. They just I don't know. They're extremists right now. So I wouldn't even call them a party.
The Democrats aren't extremists, but they're not doing anything either. Because I think all of the politicians as a whole, the gun manufacturers and whatever lobbyists that are out there, these CEOs of these companies and stuff, both sides are about. It says that the Republican Party is more liars and cheap scam artists, and they're just I don't know what to think. Mm-hmm. But you're right about that. They could sit like I think it's a Republican from whatever state. They were asking him about the latest school shooting. Okay, we're not going to talk about the latest. Well, there's so many. I should stop saying latest, but the bank shooting. But when they asked him about the school shooting, he said, well, what are we going to do? People are going to kill people. I mean, it's not really much we can do about that. And I'm like, well, damn.
Yep.
Damn. They're good with it. I don't have children in school, you know? And And then I can't think of the guy that was the Jewish guy. He's extremely far right. He was saying because the Republican Party is not supposed to be about any gun control, anyone being there. Because I mean, DeSantis was behind closed doors passing stuff during probably the day of the shooting. I mean, it's just the school shooting. There's plenty of other shootings other than that. But I can't think of his name. I think he's Jewish. And he was saying that he thinks that people, transgenders, and those that are, getting treated, that are getting whatever it is that they do, that they take, and, for transgender, the medications and different things like that. There might not be medications. I don't want to say it wrong. But whatever it is that they're doing medically, that he would be for them being, not being banned and not being allowed to use, to get firearms.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is that? That is just absolutely insane. I mean, because there's just this one transgender, transgender that did the shooting, thank God, to take a page again out of Renee's book. It's a good thing that they put that raggedy bitch down before she could do any other damage. But I mean, my God.
Yeah, the majority of mass shooters are white males. That's just a fact. I mean,
white males.
That's all they are. I mean, I told you how violent these people are, and it's in their DNA to just go out and kill and murder people. So yeah, you have one transgender woman, but that's just not the majority.
Transgender. Yeah. Transgenders from getting a gun. But what about all the white men? That's just going into the schools and to stores to shoot them up. And Tyrone, to be fair, the black men that's shooting up the clubs and spraying the playgrounds, but most of their guns are illegal. But nonetheless, what about all of these people what about all of these men and some women? I guess there's some women out there doing some mass shooting. And so this one is transgender. Let's ban them. But everybody else, it's just nothing is being said. I don't know what to think. It's just very scary. What's happening now? That's all I got.
Okay. Well, Sarge, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fine. It's such a joy and a pleasure to hear your lies repeated with such facility. It's just outstanding. It's a wonderment. Hey, but look here, man. Let me push back on a few of the things I've heard here tonight, and I will express them concisely and succinctly and with no bullshit.
Okay.
Are you ready? Can you handle the truth?
Let's go.
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. First of all, you tried to throw shade on Governor Abbott for his intention to pardon Daniel Perry. For killing that guy who pointed an AK-47 at his head. Now, first of all, I'm going to go to the general and then the specific. In general, it seems there is a concerted effort among Democrat-run jurisdictions to mitigate or negate the right of self-defense. I refer you to Trayvon Martin incident, Kyle Rittenhouse, the Jose Alba thing with Fat Alvin Bragg in Manhattan, that black African immigrant parking lot attendant who wrested a gun away from a man who was trying to break into cars in a parking lot after the man shot him 3 times, took the gun away from the guy and killed him, and Fat Alvin charged this guy with murder, and the only reason that they dropped the charges against Jose Alba and this African, I can't think of this African parking lot attendant's name right now, because of public pressure that was just simply outraged, even in New York, that this idiot fool who regularly downgrades felonies to misdemeanors would do such a thing to a person lawfully defend themselves against a violent attack. I mean, all throughout the United States, in these demon rat jurisdictions, they are negating the right of self-defense. So, that's the general. Now, the specific. Texas has a very strong self-defense law. It is one of the strongest in the nation. Daniel Perry was prosecuted in Travis County, which is a demon rat stronghold in an otherwise conservative state. It is prosecuted by a George Soros-funded prosecutor through Act Blue organization. That's the way they funnel the money through for these people's elections. He's a George Soros-funded prosecutor who and all these prosecutors have in common, they're little mascots that they want protected against all harm, no matter what kind of foolishness or mayhem they do. And if you dare harm one little hair on a little bastard's head, people like him will come down on you, and they'll get the right kind of jury willing to enforce it upon you. So therefore, with that in mind, what just happened over the weekend was the lead detective in the case, a gentleman named David Fugit, filed an affidavit that said Jose Garza and his office had him removed. He said this under oath. Had him remove 100 pages of exculpatory evidence in the case. The DA's office had him shorten his presentation from 158 slides to 56 slides. Now, the detective went on to say he believes this is criminal behavior because it is criminal to deliberately hide exculpatory information from the defense. That's what he said, and I quote, I firmly believe the district attorney's office, acting under the authority of Jose P. Garza, tampered with me as a witness. Now, with all this in mind and the pressure on the governor, I'm not a bit surprised that he would expedite this case for a pardon. I think he ought to, given what's come up. So, I mean, you can throw the show straight all you want, but these demon rat prosecutors and all these are doing the same thing over and over and over again. They create all this chaos by letting these monsters loose on us. They won't rein them in, and then we were forced to kill some of them. They want to get on us for daring to protect ourselves against them. Next. I don't know about what abortion of women, black women are with abortions, but when you consider that between 36 and 39%, depending upon what year you're looking at, of black women of childbearing age have abortions, I would submit to you probably a lot of black women are candidates to receive these pills. So it ain't just like it's just white women interested in it. Seems like a lot of black women who represent a wildly disproportionate share of women of childbirthing age having abortions, because I know black women do not constitute 39% of the childbearing population, yet they're having about 39% of the abortions. I know I would present to you they're probably candidates for the pill. Next. When you talk about this thing that went down in Tennessee, oh, Lord have mercy. These narcissistic, self-absorbed Bolsheviks, and that's what I call them, they are Bolsheviks. When they go up in there and do what they did, every single syllable that these clowns screamed through those bullhorns, they could have put on the floor of the House of Representatives in Tennessee had they simply been recognized by the chair and voice their opinions from the floor. Every single syllable they said through the bullhorns with the presence of the riotous crowd, the insurrectionist crowd, forcing the business of the legislators shut down, they could have said every single syllable if they'd have been recognized in proper order. But no, they had to grandstand. And then they had to present themselves as being martyrs and victims. So that's why they get kicked out. Now, I know they've been reinstated, but if they do it again, they need to kick them back out and let them reinstate them again. And if they do it again, kick them out again and let them be reinstated again. But as long as they keep acting like fools and Bolsheviks, they don't belong in the Tennessee legislature. And I ain't having them up here trying to present themselves as a victim, because they ain't. They could have done everything they did with proper rules of decorum and order. If you can't get your way in the legislature, you don't run riot. What you do is you keep trying to convince people that maybe you ought to vote their way. There was a screaming mob of banshees outside of that place. I saw the videos. They were outside that place telling people, what do we want? Gun control. When do we want it? Now. What do you mean? What gun control? What form does it assume? What are you proposing? You just want the Tennessee legislator to create a law to seize people's constitutionally owned and legally protected property? What does it mean? Or do you want maybe some kind of controls on criminals? But you haven't said. You just came in the legislature screaming like a bunch of banshees and lunatics. Oh, come on, man. And finally, you and this stuff with Dominion. Man, I don't care what Fox News has with this lawsuit. I never made a big issue out of the Dominion machines. I spoke to it briefly, And then I looked into it like I always do everything, and I said there is scant evidence, or at least not sufficient for me, to put much faith in it. So I went on to other aspects of the election, like the 2,000 mules, which has an enormous amount of validity as far as I'm concerned, because it has to do with illegal ballot harvesting techniques and not voting machines. So I'm not concerned with what Fox News is or doesn't get out of a lawsuit. That's for them to deal with. With me, I'm going to stick with what I know based upon my research and my obtaining corroborated evidence. And with that, I yield the floor.
All right.
Sorry,
well,
do you always yell that loud?
Well, he always yells.
I get louder if you want to hear it.
We don't want to hear it.
Oh, no,
I
I was just asking.
All right, but check this out, y'all.
Can I say something?
Yeah, but let me say this right here first. In Texas, for a jury of that guy's peers, Perry, he was found guilty. And for Greg Abbott to pardon him, that means that he is guilty of murder. Because in order for him to accept the pardon, you've got to accept guilt. You got to accept your guilt and then be pardoned for that crime. So he's guilty of murder. When it comes to Tennessee, you screaming about those two black men getting exposed, but didn't say one damn thing about that white lady doing the same thing that those black men were doing, and she kept her position. You didn't say shit about them, right? And you forget about the main subject, why they was protesting. They were 3 9-year-olds that was just murdered, and the Tennessee House wasn't doing a damn thing to you respond to that murder besides offer thoughts and prayers. That's why they was protesting. It was not an insurrection. January the 6th was an insurrection because they broke windows. They beat up police officers. They killed police officers. They shit in the hallways. They had their feet up on Nancy Pelosi desk, and they stopped the process of the government electing a president. This is the first time in American history where we didn't have a peaceful transfer of power. That is not what happened in Tennessee. The people have the freedom to protest, and that's exactly what they was doing. For those guys to be expelled like they were, and only the 2 black guys, and you're not calling out those racist ass goddamn people in Tennessee, and you just steady want to you sound like Tucker Carlson and Tariq Nasheed actually, who called out this brother with the afro. These guys, we shouldn't be hating on these lawmakers because they're black young men who actually made it to we're in a position to actually make a difference. So we should be negotiating with them, seeing what they need, trying to support these guys so they can do whatever they need to do. But I'm not going to go down the list because you said a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but that's just you. Go ahead, Angela.
Yeah, well, you always say something crazy when you ain't got no real response to it. Here's the thing about it, man. Look, let me tell you about that
Angela
woman.
Was getting ready
that
to
woman
talk.
should have been kicked out, too. But there's one crucial distinction between what she did and what they did. She didn't take a bullhorn and drown out all the business of the legislature. They did. That was what was different. There was a good work by measure. So, you know what? I don't see the same as equivalent, but yeah, they should have kicked her ass out, too. But the next thing we need to go with this is the thing is a legislature. It conducts business under rules. Under Article 1, Section 5 of the U.S. Constitution, the House conducts rules for the decorum of its members. With a 2/3 vote majority, they can kick out anybody for any reason they want if they get a 2/3 member. That's in the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and the United States Constitution. They picked the reason, and I think it was a damn good reason, and they should have kicked them out, including that Dane.
Because you're a white man.
Okay, Tyrone. Tyrone, this is Angela. Can you hear me?
Angela.
Okay, now, he made mention of the abortion and black women making up 30% of that, but we all know that
36 to 39%.
Sorry, don't cut people off.
Well, okay, we know that eugenics, way back in the day, played a part in what the black women are taking part of now. But anyway, he said they wanted to run riot, and they were also accused of having a temper tantrum, right? But this is what we call social norm. Now, they probably stepped it up a little bit further than the social norm, but they were heard. And how do you know they were heard? Because they were expelled. They removed them, okay? And for Kamala Harris to have to come and stand in solidarity with these brothers and the white woman, and keep in mind, she was, all three of them were standing there holding hands. They're calling them the Tennessee Three. So we cannot forget that she was standing with them as well. A white woman, she laid down her white privilege and she stood with them. And when the mainstream media asked her, why do you think you were not removed? She said, I guess it's because of race. She made the mention. She made the mention that it was because of the race. So let's not get too far beside ourselves. And also in Tennessee, let's not just talk about those three babies, yes, but look at Memphis. They are running around the streets of Memphis. A cop was just shot 2 weeks ago, I believe. It's just a lot going on in the state of Memphis. In the city of Memphis. So they're running around like the Wild Wild West in Tennessee. And so it is with good reason that they are trying to stand and get the attention of the rest of the lawmakers so that they can make a difference. We're talking about criminals. We're talking about bandits. We're talking about people who still want to continue to do what they are doing in an effort to push drugs, to traffic our girls, whatever it is that they are doing in the darkness, on the dark side. And that's all I want to say about that.
Well, I hear you making rationalizations for insurrection, but y'all could do the same thing to the people on January 6th. Rightly or wrongly, they believed an election had been stolen. I believe it too, and I can muster enormous amounts of evidence to support that contention. So I can make an excuse for rationalization. I can do for insurrection too. And I didn't make it for the January 6th rioters. I said if they rioted and they got evidence that they rioted, they should be punished and prosecuted according to the limitations of the law. That's what I said. I didn't rationalize it away by saying they're doing it for a good cause. They shut down the business in the legislation on that day. The insurrectionists were in the legislative chamber, preventing them from conducting legislative business. That is the definition of an insurrection. And if you don't want to acknowledge it as a full insurrection, I say maybe you can call it a quasi-insurrection, but nonetheless it was disruptive to the point where the people who did it it was justified to expel them from the legislative body. They're legislators, not activists when they're in the chamber. They can be activists out in public or on the floor when they're officially recognized by the chair. I don't see any reason to rationalize it.
Their constituents were standing in solidarity with them. So I guess activists or not, if the constituents are out there and those are the ones who voted them in, by all means, I believe they should stand with the people who voted for them. Now, you talked about the election and you said that you believe that it was taken. Now, I do believe that Trump knew that something happened. Why do I say that? Because how did Trump get in office? Trump knew something happened, but did it happen to the extent that he was saying? I don't think so. Now, is it a case where, and I've spoken with older women who worked the polls and everything here in the state of Mississippi, who told me as a journalist that they had to go home and cry. They saw ballot boxes and stuff emptied over and all of this type of stuff. They didn't count the votes, okay? And people lost elections right here in Mississippi. But was it done to the extent that Trump was talking about when he made that phone call to Georgia and said that he had 13,000 or whatever number of votes and he needed those ballots and da-da-da-da-da? I don't think it was to that extent. But we do have people who go around doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. But that's not in just elections. That's in every aspect of life. That's all I want to say.
All right, well, look, all I'm saying, I agree with you pretty much in what you said, but I never tried to say that the people who rioted, assaulted officers, damaged government property, even those who trespass in areas that were clearly marked with authorized personnel only should not have been prosecuted. They should have been prosecuted. I think they're getting disproportionate prosecution, but I would never say that they should not be touched. I will not rationalize lawless, riotous behavior in legislative bodies, especially when there's a remedy to those who do it. Those three should have been kicked out of the legislature, and every time they do it, they should be kicked out again.
Well, you're not telling the truth, because you said that those was peaceful protesters on the January 6th, Sarge. You said it over and over again. So that is your justification.
Most of them were. Some of them weren't. They should be prosecuted. How clear can I make it, Tyrone? It can't be any more clear than that.
Man, they had tactical gear. It was nothing.
There was nothing
Most of them were not rioting. There were 100,000 people there. For God's sake, there was 100,000 people rioting, and no one would be able to hold them back.
Okay, they was up there for one purpose, to stop the election of Joe Biden.
There were 100,000 people there. 100,000 people weren't rioting. They never could have controlled 100,000 people rioting.
Why are you cutting me off? All I'm saying is whenever you
knowing that, like it doesn't matter. Oh, they were all rioters. No, they weren't.
I was just correcting you when you said you wasn't justifying the fucking insurrection. You did. You said that
the riot was an insurrection, not the people protesting peacefully. The same thing in Tennessee. The ones who entered the chamber were the insurrectionists, not just the people screaming like banshees and holding their signs outside. Okay. They weren't insurrectionists. They didn't enter the Capitol in Tennessee. I'm talking about the ones that did.
Okay, Tennessee was not an insurrection. That was a peaceful protest. Okay, and the January 6th was an insurrection because they came up there with weapons, riot gear,
Here we go again.
Here we go again. I mean, we got the pictures.
You just ignore the evidence. Who was charged with that other than the people who rioted?
Listen to what I'm saying. They literally they literally put up a gallows and said they're gonna hang Mike Pence.
That's just an illegal part of protest. You can always hang people in effigy in a protest. There's nothing illegal about it.
They wasn't going to hang in the effigy. If they would have found that man.
Sir, when they do, then you charge them with the crime of attempted murder or something like that. Kidnapping, unlawful restraint, and attempted murder. Did anybody get charged with that day? No. Hanging somebody in effigy is not a crime.
Anyway, that's the problem with this country, is that we're confused about what.
Here we go. You try to say something's a crime that ain't, and then when I catch you at it, you change the subject.
I'm not changing the subject. You just misrepresenting what happened in Tennessee compared to what happened in Washington.
People hanging people in effigy like it's something illegal or something. Those are
it is illegal.
All the time. Throughout American history, we've seen that.
Okay, Sarge, hanging people in effigy is not a good thing. Do we agree?
Depends on who's getting hanged.
Okay, well, I'm saying it's not a good thing. If you support that type of action, then there's something wrong with you. But the point is, January 6th was a real insurrection because people are going to jail for it. People are getting sentenced with goddamn sedition.
Yeah. The Sharman guy. I think they released him, and then they turned around and indicted Trump the very same day or the next day. In New York on criminal charges, but people went to jail for that. People were
ain't nobody going to jail in Tennessee.
They got video. Ain't nobody going. Nobody. Kamala Harris ain't nobody going to jail in Tennessee. No, ain't no way. And I think she's an attorney by trade. Not that speaks volumes about anything, because we got a lot of these lawyers who are going to jail right now. But she's the vice president of the United States who came to stand with them. Nothing is going to happen to them. We're talking about babies that are getting ready to bury. Not only that, we had a black brother who was killed that day. He was a janitor. Nobody cares about his life, huh? It's not worth talking about. This is the only way we can get a discussion, is seemingly forcing a discussion through social norm. And social norm is protesting. We're not talking about an insurrection in Tennessee. That's not what happened in Tennessee.
Well, Kamala Harris' actions are entirely consistent with somebody who went on air, got together with an organization to put up bail money for rioters, arsonists, and assaulters and batterers in the riots over the summer for BLM. It's entirely consistent that she would be in support of insurrectionists after she did that in the riots of 2020. I'm not a bit surprised.
All right, so hold on, let me check this unknown caller. And once again, guys, I'm going to repeat it over and over again. That was not an insurrection in Tennessee. Who's this unknown caller?
Hi, it's me, Gigi. I fell off. I just wanted to say I seem to remember Trump telling people at his rallies that to beat up other people and that if they get locked up, he's going to bail them out. So,
in Chicago, he said it. That's right. He said it in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. I'm done.
So I just want to be clear. There ain't nobody going to jail for sedition in Tennessee. Ain't nobody going to court. Ain't nobody doing none of that stuff in Tennessee. And that's the reddest of the red states you can damn be in. So we know that in Washington, D.C., that all these people are getting, even Donald Trump is under investigation for the January the 6th insurrection, Sarge. So what the fuck are you?
Demon rats seem to be immune from prosecution. All I got to do is have a D next to your name. You know, Hillary Clinton could take 33,000 emails under subpoena and destroy them with bleach bit and hammers. 33,000 emails. She can have an illegal server in her basement in Chappaqua, which is completely against the Espionage Act and everything else. No prosecution. In fact, James Comey comes on and has two press conferences, leaves out every single predicate for why she should be prosecuted, and then lo and behold, she don't get prosecuted because no reasonable prosecutor would bring a case like that. But let Donald Trump make a check mark in the wrong ledger. Oh, Katie bar the door. Let's lock him up for 136 years with 34 counts of illegal business practices. Oh, good God. Are you serious?
The only president in history that's ever been charged with a crime is the person that you're supporting right now. He had to do a perp walk, Sarge. That's the only president that ever had to do a perp walk. Go ahead.
33,000 emails under subpoena. Private server in the basement. Oh, yeah, that check mark in the wrong ledger, boy. We better get on this guy. Non-disclosure agreement. That's the real crime.
Why are you bringing up Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton ain't been in the news for years. I'm not talking about Hillary Clinton.
I got 12 other Democrats I can bring up. You want to hear them too? They didn't prosecute for illegal activities?
Get control of this mess.
I want to speak to what he said about Hillary Clinton because I want to speak to what he said about Hillary Clinton because. Okay.
Go ahead. Well, let Lisa go, Angela.
Go ahead.
This is a waste of time going back and forth with Sarge because he's going to throw out all of this old stuff and in order to look it up to prove this and that, the talking points. Hi, Sarge. How you doing? This is a waste of time, guys. It really is. But go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, you're never going to convince me that you're right because you never provide any good evidence. You're right. From your point of view, it is. But it's not from anybody who really wants to have a thorough discussion of the issue.
Well, I want to say speak to what he said, even though we do know Hillary Clinton has not been in the media for a while. And this is something I share the same sentiments as Sarge as it relates to that. Because for one thing, you know that information was confidential. You knew that when you set up your own server that you were opening up people and that information to be hacked. You willfully did that stuff and nothing happened. And I sat back as a journalist and I waited to see what would happen to Hillary Clinton in those emails, knowing that information was classified, man. Nothing ever happened. Nothing.
All right. So, hold on. So that's everybody. Okay, so that is what it is. You got the Hillary Clinton people who wants her locked up, and then we know Donald Trump has actually went and did a perp walk. We saw him in New York. We saw him in New York getting charged with a crime. Hillary Clinton. Listen, it's thoroughly investigated. A perpetrator walk.
Yeah, you used to be real hot to talk about unequal justice when it came to black men, weren't you? All of a sudden now, you seem to have abandoned that notion of principle, haven't you? That's very curious, Tyrone.
I want to say something, and this is my first time speaking openly about what's going on with Trump. Now, if you look across all of the different continents, America is supposed to be the superpower, right? And throughout the history of our nation, as we know it to be in a regular textbook that they have given us, this has never happened before, right? And I'm not saying that Trump was right in anything that he did, but to do a former president this way, other nations are watching, and it's like we are imploding. We are weakening from the inside out, in my mind. Now, I could be wrong, and this is just my opinion. But I think that, something should be done to him. But on this scale, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you wrong. You wrong as hell.
Go
ahead. Who was that?
No, I was just going to say, the United States has come off to the rest of the world. It's weak, idiotic, and it's just going down the drain. They're finally taking the Trump should have been prosecuted on a lot of things way before he even ran for office. And the fact that
I agree.
The fact that they're going to take this stance, whether current or ex-president, and they're going to hold him accountable, that doesn't show our country as weak. That show our country as this shit we here ain't going to tolerate. That's what that does. If for anyone to be, he's an ex-president, so what? He's an Supreme Court judge, president, vice president, of whatever, attorney general. Donald Trump has been allowed to break the law for years. The people in New York despise him. He has taken advantage of so many people way before he even ran for president. And sometimes you have to take a stance for the next person coming up who is about to even think about doing certain things that will give them, like my grandmother, my granddad, and them used to say, they got another thing coming. This is a good thing. I don't think it's going to turn into anything. I don't think he's going to be prosecuted over this one, but we have no idea what's going to happen in Georgia. And it's the district and the attorney and with the Justice Department and some of these other things coming up. There's going to be far more. This is pretty serious what he did with this one. But this is showing that next person coming up, Ron DeSantis or somebody get up in there or whatever, you all have another thing coming. This does not make us weak. This makes us come off as not as dumb and stupid as we have looked to the rest of the world for the 4 years that that fool's been in there. This is a good thing, regardless if it turns into anything. Can't get weak now. You can't get weak now because he's the first. We can't get weak now and start feeling sorry because we've never done this before. This is new territory. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Wrong is
so the
wrong,
question
right?
becomes. So the question becomes, and I totally agree when you say he should have been prosecuted way before now. So the question now becomes, who dropped the ball? Who turned their head? Who didn't do it? Who was the DA then? Who was the district attorney back then who said, no, I'm not going to do anything?
No, that's not what happened.
The other day, a new Freedom of Information Act request from the New Legal Foundation revealed that it looks like Joe Biden, after his public denials to the contrary, was behind the Mar-a-Lago raid. After what he did in order to cover up and provide a justification for it was to behind the scenes reclassify what Donald Trump had declassified to provide a pretext for the raid, because undoubtedly information, or at least they were worried that the information that Donald Trump had retained in his possession would point to Russia collusion with the Democrats, corruption by Hunter Biden and Joe Biden in Ukraine and in China with the illegal loans, the no forgivable loans that the Chinese gave to him, the $1.5 million from the widow of the Moscow mayor. All this other stuff was in there. So Joe Biden, behind the scenes, quietly reclassified the material so he could say, now the FBI has a right to go after Donald Trump for possessing classified material after Donald Trump had declassified them. Man, this is all going to come out. Jim Jordan and the Republicans have got it. You're going to see what they're going to come out with. You're going to see real crimes, and it won't be no bookkeeping crimes or no telephone call crimes. It's going to be real federal crimes involving malfeasance in office, public corruption, and potential bordering on treason.
I agree with Gigi. I agree with Gigi. Okay.
Let me mute you for a second because, Sarge, listen, I don't know what you did to your phone, but you just gave your phone some extra energy. I don't know what that was, but it sounds like you're on a megaphone. So could you please turn that back down like 3 or 4 notches because that was extremely loud. Go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, thanks for that. But back to what we were speaking of. Yeah, you asked why wasn't it done before? Why was this ball dropped? Donald Trump was a rich person. He had a lot of power. He is just the first rich person to get off. They're not going to get everybody like Madoff. So that's what that was. Somebody got noise in the background. What is that?
I think that's Angela Baby's back there playing.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's what happened with that. But nonetheless, he wasn't prosecuted. He used to always have to go to court for this, that, pay out money and lawsuits and being sued for decades. But, yes, that's what happened with that. He was a rich man. Nothing new there. Rich people get away with stuff. He was able to pay his lawyers to get him off or to get him by. And other people who worked with him went to federal prison. Everybody except him. So, I mean, that's what that was. But regardless of all of that, this country, we have been looking a plum fool since that man took foot in office. We lost a lot of prestige around the world. It is what it is. We were a joke with this man. So now, at some point, even regardless of how ruthless it looks, and it looks ruthless, but we have to stand strong with it. We can't just allow, because what about, this is the thing, a lot of these poor MAGAs, they got them believing that if they'll do it to him, they'll do it to you. Well, they're doing it to you. Don't you want them to do it to him too? He just because he's rich, he should be allowed to do whatever he want to do, break the law, grift, scam, steal. He should be able to do that because he's rich. Are they going to do it to you? They always do it to us, to the regular person. So he could get some too. That's what this is. We can't get. This has never been done before. Who cares?
Well, I fear. I fear for the life of the district attorney, and he's already saying that he's been threatened so many times already. He's not, and he's also filed a lawsuit. He's suing a judge or someone for getting involved.
No, Jim Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Jordan. See, that's what Sergeant calling out is that. That's what Sergeant calling out is that the. Go ahead.
If he's willing to do it, he's willing. He knows what him and his family, and then the judge who he appointed, the district attorney. The assistant district attorneys who he's appointed that's going to handle the case. They know the risk. They know what it is. If they're willing to do it, do it. And the rest of us have to stand by and look at it and watch. They're willing to do it. So there you go. That's the answer to that. They're willing to do their job.
So you said it goes with the territory. It goes with the territory. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's his job that threat should not even be there. So the reason that we're talking about the threat is because of Donald Trump and the way that he riles up his base and people like this idiot on the phone to come out here and be angry at the other side and forget about the judicial process. Because what Jim Jordan is doing, what Braggs have sued is the Speaker of the House. Not the Speaker of the House, but Jim Jordan for interfering in that local investigation in New York. Jim Jordan ain't got no business interfering in an investigation because it's a local crime that Donald Trump has committed. But now the federal government is reaching into New York trying to interfere in that investigation on Trump's behalf. And not only that,
what
Angela,
they say
Donald Trump
accused of committing. He's accused of it.
No. They've got evidence. That's why he was arraigned the other day. He arraigned.
Yeah, I heard no end of you giving me lectures constantly about how you couldn't ignore a congressional subpoena if your name was Roger Stone or Steve Bannon. Now all of a sudden we got a federal judge who's taking a look at Fat Alvin Bragg's lawsuit and he's tossed it out. He's going to have to obey that subpoena or wind up in contempt of Congress, just like Steve Bannon was. And now all of a sudden, no, you don't have much to say about it. And by the way, the Manhattan office has admitted, federal funds were used to prosecute Donald Trump in this phony indictment. So therefore, they have the right to see how those funds are being used. They were federal funds. Congress has oversight in it, and they are exercising that authority.
Okay, so I don't know why your phone is so loud.
Why is your phone louder than everybody else's?
Yeah, your phone is really loud, sir.
You got to be able to control.
Because of my righteousness, probably.
Okay, can you please turn your phone down?
They're saying that those charges are usually misdemeanors, and they're trying to figure out why would they be made made a felony. And I don't know why, but we're going to see. And I agree with Gigi. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere. And for him to put his neck out there, and I know she said it goes with the territory, but I fear for everybody involved who are pushing forward, saying that this is what it is, and we got this and that, because the birth of Putin, they have to prove what they're talking about. They have to prove it.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know that Alvin Bragg's suit is not thrown out of court. I don't know why you have to lie to try to make a point. The suit just got started and it's not thrown out.
Right.
So I don't know why I started it. But my point is, Angela, and I was trying to give you the crimes that Trump committed and what he's getting investigated for now.
Okay,
was the Mar-a-Lago documents when the DOJ and the NARA asked for those documents. He lied about the documents being there. And he's got charged with 3 felonies down. Well, they're accusing him of 3 felonies down there. And then the Georgia thing, to where he was asking for 11,000 votes. That's another lawsuit that's going to happen. So this Stormy Daniels thing, where fraudulent business actions, there's 34 counts and there's 34 felonies in New York that he's up against. So these are not just one-off crimes like charges putting off paying a check or whatever the fuck. These were fraudulent business actions over 34 times committed in New York, and those are felonies. So I don't know why that dude trying to blow that off. What's up, mama's boy?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I've been for 23 years. I know what stacking charges is. Every single payment made over the duration of 34 months was listed as a separate offense. That's called stacking charges. It's very familiar to me, and it ain't going to stand up.
Can you please put that damn megaphone down? What is wrong with you? What's up, mama's boy?
Peace. Well, I heard the young lady say she's talking about how they become felonies. The Bragg explained that they become felonies when you commit a crime to cover up another crime. And what it was, using those funds funds for something other than what they're for is a crime, and covering it up is a felony. And he covered it up each time he reported that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal fees instead of what it was actually for paying off Stormy Daniels. And he questioning
Cohen. They're questioning his character, right? Cohen.
Well, no, listen, what they explain, let me finish this part and then I'll say that. Well, the fact that he reported it as paying back legal fees each time he reported it, it was a felony. So he reported it 34 times. He lied about it 34 times. So that's 34 felonies. Now, what did you say again? You were about Cohen? they explain and it makes
Yes,
sense.
I think that
The
he's
way
a
they
questionable
explain it.
character.
Well, check it out though. Think about this: when you prosecuting the mob or gang for racketeering and things like that, you often use people that know what's going on and have a disreputable reputation. As long as you can corroborate what they say, they could be the biggest liar in the game. But what they talking about, they not lying about because you have corroboration, and that's what they have with Mike Cohen. Everything that he's saying, that they have corroborating evidence to back up what he's saying. So he could be the biggest liar in the game, but he knows he's on the inside. He knows how everything works. He knows how to explain everything, and they use witnesses like that all the time to put us in jail.
But you know what?
Well, and to that point, Mama's boy and Angela, listen, to that point, okay, say for instance, they're questioning his character, and they should, because he went to jail for lying and all that kind of bullshit, right? And they should. So in this instance, Donald Trump signed those checks over to Michael Cohen. So in order to get access to those checks, you bring Michael Cohen in there, show me this transaction. That's probably all they need. Show me this transaction, how many times Donald Trump paid you for this. Now, he don't have to tell the truth or anything with that. You can show those checks written out to Michael Cohen for this reason. You get what I'm saying?
But
so
don't
they
you
should
know?
question his
But
character.
don't you know, in the court of law, for Donald Trump's defense team, guys, all they have to do is plant a seed of doubt. If that seed takes root, and there's a jury listening to it, because we know now that Braggs has the he can suppress or not give the grand jury he can give them everything that he feels they need to indict and get that indictment. And
the grand jury listen. The grand jury is done with their job. The grand jury said that the crimes are there, and that's why Donald Trump got arraigned the other day. So the grand jury is done. So now what's the next step is for it to go to fucking trial. Now, you're right about that seed of doubt. You're right about that seed of doubt, right? But whenever they present that evidence and say, here's the paperwork where Donald Trump paid Cohen right here, you can't question that.
Again,
no, because it's question to deal with all the motions that have been brought before the court. They're not going to convene a jury until the judge disposes of all these motions, both for the prosecution and the defense.
Well, but we all know Donald Trump's track record on them motions. He don't never win none of them. You already know that's
you mean like the impeachment or the Russia collusion or what?
No, like 60 times. I'll tell you, if you shut up, I'll tell you. You ask him, I'm trying to tell you. If you be quiet, I can tell you. You asked the question. I'm gonna say the 60 times he went to court to try to overturn the election, and all 60 judges says go fuck yourself and threw that shit out of there. Even Trump appointed judges threw that shit out.
Where is Rudy Giuliani?
Hold on, listen. And the time that he sued Hillary Clinton and her whole camp, and he got sanctioned in the end. So I mean, you didn't say nothing about that.
Where is Rudy Giuliani
you didn't know that?
in all of this?
What? Because Rudy Giuliani was Trump's lawyer.
And he lost his life.
Yes.
And he lied.
Wow.
Yeah. And he worried about getting brought up on charges.
Oh wow! At that old age, and the thing is, y'all,
and that's what. Listen, and that's why. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to get Trump, right? Because once they get Trump, everybody else down the totem pole is gonna fall like fucking leaves. So they need to get Trump.
You got to remember, Giuliani was the mayor of New York. He did the whole 9/11 thing, and now he's an absolute disgrace. He can't even he lost his license to be an attorney because of all of this Trump. And he seems a little wacky, like he's going through dementia or something. So this is
he's still out there lying. He's still out there lying. I don't know what's wrong with these people. It's white men. I'm telling you, white men.
Life suspended.
But you know,
White men,
they started.
he got disbarred,
Hey,
nigga. He got disbarred.
Bill Clinton
Yeah,
lost
his
his
license was
license.
suspended.
Forget. No, they suspended Bill Clinton's license too.
This is not
He got-
the Sarge.
But y'all know they got Alex Jones first. When they started with messing with Alex Jones, who is like an independent person out there, I knew Fox News was going to be next. I just knew it.
Fox shouldn't have been lying. I mean, they even got evidence of Rupert Murdoch talking to Fox, knowing that they lying. So I mean, that's their own damn fault.
Yeah, I just played the audio where that producer was talking to Trump campaign, and they said that they won't no issues with Dominion and all of that kind of bullshit, but they went on the air anyway and lied about Dominion. And that's a news organization that ABC and Sarge get their information from.
Look, no matter what happens with the Dominion lawsuit, the fact of the matter is nothing has changed about the illegal, unconstitutional changing of election law in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. That won't change. The issues about the ballot harvesting remain. The issues about chain of custody and signature verification remain. That has nothing to do with voting machines. Those issues are still unresolved and have yet to be contested in court. So for you to say Dominion validates everything simply is not so.
Okay, so just for a disclaimer, what we just heard is a conspiracy, YouTube. Everything that you just heard is a conspiracy. Sarge, I really wish you would get off of that stuff.
The Pennsylvania court making a ruling is not a conspiracy. It is a fact. The Wisconsin court saying that ballot boxes in Wisconsin were illegal is not a conspiracy. It is a fact. The fact that election law was changed in Georgia with the Secretary of State and the governor not getting the consent of the legislature is not a conspiracy. It is a fact. You just like to prove everything that you wish to delegitimate into some kind of conspiracy basket and say that what I say isn't so. It still is, Tyrone, whether it gets resolved in court or not.
Okay, so I've got to have the last word on this. Everybody, that was a conspiracy again. So we're going to move past this because you're just going to dig deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole, and I'm not going to argue with you about none of those conspiracies you just named. And here's the fact, guys. The election is over. The election is over, and we have winners and losers, and that's just the bottom line. To still contest this thing like crazy-ass Carrie Lake is doing, that woman is nuts. To still contest an election that you lost, just like Sarge is doing right now, it's just dumb to me, which makes it a conspiracy because it's over. It is over. If there was any legitimacy to what Sarge just said, then there would be court battles, there would be all kinds of stuff saying, and elections would be getting overturned, and all of that. But that's not going on. These people have won their offices, and they're legislating, so it is what it is. Yeah, they're conspiracies. Go ahead, Angela.
I want to shift gears right quick and go to the Carolinas. Alex Murdaugh. Alex Murdaugh was one of the most powerful men in his area of the Carolinas. And to watch him go down, that spoke volumes about what's going on with this judicial system. And a black judge who was sitting, listening to the case. I got one question, though. Why do they call it low country?
Oh, because of the way the land is shaped.
Is it because it's off of the water, or what? I'm trying to understand.
It's like it used to be like a swamp, and then we got a model down here called Swamp Fox. So that's what.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, well, that was entertaining.
I was going to say,
what you say?
Talk different too, and the people talk different too in low country.
They do. They do. I had a heavy Carolina. I mean, I still got an accent, but I had a heavy Carolina accent one time.
Tyrone, you say like you'll say won't. Why do y'all use the word won't? Because y'all use it wrong.
I don't know.
You use it wrong.
How do we?
How
y'all
feel?
Because
you're gonna say something, and it'll come out again, and I'll say that's it.
I won't.
That's it, Tyrone. There it is. Because the word won't.
Tell him. Don't tell him, Angela. Let's just let him keep doing it.
What's wrong with saying won't? What's wrong with saying won't? I don't.
It's a South Carolina thing. Because I listen to Larry Reed, and he talks just like that. And whenever I hear you say it, I just laugh because I think that's like a South Carolina thing.
Oh, I don't know, but it is what it is. But y'all, if y'all would have heard me in high school, y'all would have knew who I was. I got a heavy accent.
Oh wow!
Well, I had one.
Oh wow!
But I know it's still heavy now. But
Tyrone, y'all had the balloon flying over the Carolinas. What's up with that?
Yeah, I know. You thought it was a lie. You came on my Facebook. You came on my Facebook page talking about fake news. There wasn't no fake news. It was right over my yard. I watched that thing get shot down.
We knew you were an agent, Tyrone. We knew you were an agent launching them down.
We knew it. Nah, this joke is, hey, YouTube, we lying, okay? He's not an agent. But man, I thought that was fake news for real, Tyrone. I really did.
It was right there out my front door. I watched it get shot down. I couldn't believe it myself.
And then China had the audacity to say, we want our balloon back. Give us our balloon. Hey, Tyrone, you've been in the military. Now, that thing probably been flying over, and they were privy to that information, but when the media got a hold to it, I guess it was just a matter of them owning up to something was in the sky or something. I don't know. But
because they said like three.
We don't know.
They said like 3 balloons flew over during the Trump administration, and nobody reported it. But because it was Biden. Because it was Biden, people started talking, and Biden felt like he had to act. But this bullshit that China's sending off them balloons like that, I believe they're trying to be provocative and start something.
I think so.
Listen, y'all. And what about the Cash App mandate? They said in July, they're supposed to come out with the government. It's going to have this thing, Cash Now or Fed Now or something, where it's going to be similar to Cash App. And not only that, the other guy from the Bitcoin or whatever, he's been prosecuted too. So I'm trying to see what's the chances of this man being murdered. But anyway,
I don't know. They said the guy that killed that guy. Well, they said they knew him, but Angela, you fool a lot of damn conspiracy too, huh?
I just have a lot of questions, that's all. I'm a certified question asking person. I'm just here to ask questions, that's all.
But they said the guy that killed him knew him, said that they was close associates. So that's some more information that still got to come out about that.
So it's still developing, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that was exciting. Miss Elisa, did you want to try to get a story or two in there?
Let me see. Wait a minute, hold on, because I was sitting here working while y'all was going in. Hold on. Let me see that I wanted to get into. Because I was working, typing, and this, let me see.
You can talk about Clarence Thomas.
Well, while she's looking at that information, Tyrone, intelligence officials, according to NBC, which I know you guys like to cite all the time, said that balloon was transmitting information back to China, and this is what they reported. Now, not Sarge. They said that balloon was reporting data back to China, and it was under control, and it made deliberate circuits around sensitive locations, particularly United States missile bases in Nebraska, Wyoming, and Montana. So that's what they reported. So, so for you to say they were just drifting with the wind currents don't seem to be verified, because it didn't look to me like it was drifting with wind currents.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I really didn't say that. Okay.
Nobody said that. Nobody.
Well, they also said, which was left out, that United States knew the balloon was there, so every time the balloon traversed over sensitive areas. It couldn't see anything anyway because the United States was blocking it out.
Oh wow.
Well, that turned out not to be true, Mama's boy.
Okay, my bad.
News. No, but you're right because that's what they said initially.
That's what was said.
But now they're
right.
saying now they're saying that the balloon was able to collect data. So that's the news changed all the time. But I mean, hell, they sent it over here with all that equipment on here, so they was gathering something. So
they said it the size.
I didn't say what. I just want to make sure that I didn't say what Sarge said. Okay. So
they said it was the size of 3 buses.
Yeah, you wouldn't be right, would you? You wouldn't want to be right.
Man, Sarge, when you ever right?
All the time. Every time I oppose you, I'm right. It's dramatic.
Hey, the only time you right, Sarge, the only time you right is when you zip your pants up after you use the bathroom.
Listen, I got to say this right here about, I think his name is Justin Jones, the Tennessee guy.
Okay.
Because Tucker Carlson came out and Tucker Carlson came out and did a piece on him, and it showed in his early days when he was clean cut and all of that kind of stuff, and then now that he's got an afro, Tucker Carlson came out and said, he done turned from this white wannabe guy to MLK. Now the problem with that is that's the same thing that Tariq Nasheed said about this young man, and when it comes to our community. When it comes to our community and him having a platform like that and turning black people against black politicians like that, that's why I don't screw with these people on social media. Because he don't see the significance of what this guy represents in Tennessee. This guy is a black lawmaker in Tennessee, and he's trying to get things done. And now, because of Tariq Nasheed, he's going to have black people turned against him and shit. That's why I don't fuck with them people, because they don't know nothing about politics. They want to scream reparations, but they don't want to get in touch with the politicians to try to make them make that shit happen.
With the lawmakers. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to know the lawmakers.
Everybody just get in line, right? Just get in line. Just get in line behind the brother. Sure.
Hey, Sarge Hayden, Tyrone. Sarge Hayden, you know why he hates Go.
I think Alicia was trying to say something.
My bad.
I was gonna say, no, that's okay. What did Tariq Nasheed say about him? Because I haven't been really following.
Let me look it up.
Well,
I have to look it up.
Tariq Nasheed said the same thing that Tucker Carlson said, is that one time, he was trying to be, down with the white people, and all of a sudden he grew an afro, and now he want to be Martin Luther King.
Oh.
Because of the way he was speaking on the floor and stuff like that.
Man, that's just haterade.
I mean, you're not supposed to say notice.
That's just straight up haterade.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done
We
it.
know why you hate
I wouldn't use my platform to beat down another black brother. I wouldn't use my platform for that.
Well, that's all Nasheed does, try to divide black people. So that's all he do now.
You're not supposed to notice the incongruity. Just not supposed to notice.
Sorry.
He's just going through a phase.
Just stop, man. Just stop.
What is he just going through a phase?
Listen, I'm gonna give you a good example of why what he did is okay. Because whenever you're on this damn phone right here, you screaming like a damn banshee. But whenever you go to those white shows, you got manners and you talk with courtesy. You don't disrespect them or nothing. So he did the same thing your ass did, just in reverse, nigga. Good Lord.
I'm not a legislator, nigga, bound by house rules, am I?
I'm just telling you the mentality of people that...
Hey, I told you why Sarge hating. Sarge hating because he can't grow that afro.
But I don't hate him, and I can grow an afro because I got one. So I don't know why you're saying. Why do you say these silly things? Just to say
I got an afro.
All right, but anyway, look, man.
Hey, Sarge, ain't nobody talking about your George Jefferson. Ain't nobody talking about your George Jefferson, Sarge.
All right, forget all the nonsense. Let's talk about the issue, which is not me, because I ain't a legislature, and I got no authority anymore. I'm a citizen with an opinion like everybody else. And here's what it is about him. He has an incongruity based upon his past adherence. He said in that thing when he was running for class president, he wants to hear all points of view. He's out to reconcile liberals and conservatives. He said it. It's not like I have to make it up about him. Now all of a sudden he's a radical Bolshevik. Why? And we're not asking
didn't say,
to
wait a
cause him
minute.
to change. Let him make the explanation, not you or me. And we're noticing the incongruous change, and we have a right to ask about it.
Okay, so hold on. He did not say anything that was incongruent or whatever the fuck you said. The only thing that he was advocating for in Tennessee was some type of gun reform. He wasn't saying anything about bringing anybody to goddamn together or none of that bullshit. That he didn't say anything opposite from what he said years ago. So you're lying on that man. See, this is what the fuck happened.
So is there a opposing point of view to his? That's the point of reconciliation, in case you don't know what the word means. He was the one that was talking about reconciliation of opposing points of view. That is what he said.
Listen, the only reason that you guys are saying what you're saying is because he's wearing an afro now. That's it. That is it. And he's talking with a slightly different dialect.
Hey, don't try to speak with me. That's not the reason I'm saying it. I'm asking for him to explain, as I just said, the incongruence.
I changed my hairstyle. I changed my hairstyle every
it all equals out, Sarge. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I change my hairstyle every 2 weeks, I think it is. You know, I mean, that's his prerogative. He can change it. Next week, he can sound like Tupac.
We got it.
Hey, what he demonstrated was it doesn't matter what you look like in the United States of America. What the fuck you wear. As long as you black, you a nigga.
Wow.
At the end of the day.
That coming.
He wasn't a nigga the other day. He was a Bolshevik.
Oh, wow.
Tyrone.
A beautiful black
man. Hold on. Go ahead, Elisa.
Let's get into Clarence Thomas because that, Lord have mercy. And then y'all can have at it because I know that every time.
Okay. All right, so everybody put your phone on mute. Everybody put your phone on mute so Elisa can get this story out.
Okay, billionaire Harlan Crow bought property from Clarence Thomas. The justice didn't disclose that deal. In 2014, one of Texas billionaire Harlan Crow's companies purchased a string of properties on a quiet residential street in Savannah, Georgia. It wasn't a marquee acquisition for real estate magnate, just an old single-story home, 2 vacant lots down the road. What made it noteworthy were the people on the other side of the deal, Supreme Court Justice Thomas and his relatives. The transaction marks the first known instance of money flow from Republican governor to the Supreme Court Justice. The Crow Company bought properties for $133,363 from 3 co-owners, Thomas, his mother, and family, Thomas' late brother, according to the state tax documents and a deed dated October 15, 2014, filed in Chatham County Courthouse. The purchase put Crow in an unusual position. He now owns the house where the justice's elderly mother was living. Soon after the sale was completed, contractors began work on tens of thousands of improvements on the 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, which looks out onto the patch of orange trees. The renovations included a carport, a repaired roof, new fence, gates, according to city permit records and blueprints. A federal disclosure law passed after Watergate requires justices and other officials to disclose details of most real estate sales over 1,000. Thomas never disclosed his sale of his plan of properties. That appears to be a violation of the law, for ethics law experts told ProPublica. The disclosure form Thomas filed for that year also had a space to report the identity of the buyer in the private transactions, such as a real estate deal. That space was left blank. He needed to report the interest in the sale, said Virginia Cantor, formerly government ethics lawyer, now at the Watchdog Crew, given a role Crow has played in subsidizing the lifestyle of Thomas's wife. You have to wonder if this was an effort to put cash in their pockets. Thomas did not respond to detailed questions of the story. In a statement, Crow said his purchased Thomas's mother's house, where Thomas spent part of his childhood, to preserve it for its prosperity. My intention is to one day create a public museum at the Thomas home dedicated to telling stories of our nation's second Black Supreme Court justice, he said. I approached the Thomas family about my desire to maintain the historic site for future generations to learn about the inspiring life of one of the greatest Americans. Crow's statement did not directly address why he also bought 2 vacant lots from Thomas down the street, but he wrote that the other lots were later sold to a builder who was committed to improving the quality of the neighborhood and preserving its historical integrity. ProPublica also asked Crow about the additions on Thomas' mother's house. Like the new carport, improvements were also made to Thomas' property to preserve its long-term viability and accessibility to the public, Crow said. Ethics law experts said Crow intentions had no bearings on Thomas' legal obligations to disclose the sale. The Justice Field report transactions that Thomas was hiding financial relationship with Crow, said Kathleen Clark, legal ethics expert at the Washington University St. Louis, who reviewed years of Thomas' disclosure filings. There are a handful of carved-out disclosure law. For example, if someone sells property and solely as personal residence of the reporting individual of the individual spouse, they don't need to report it. Experts said exemptions clearly did not apply to Thomas' sale. The revelation of the direct financial transaction between Thomas and Crow cast the relationship in a new light. ProPublica reported last week Thomas has accepted luxury travel from Crow virtually every year for decades, including private jet flights, international cruises on the businessman's super yacht, and regular stays at the private resort in the Adirondacks. Crow has long been influential in conservative politics and stays in his private and spent millions on efforts to shape the law and the judiciary. The story prompted an outcry and calls for investigations of Democratic lawmakers. In response to the reporting, both Thomas and Crow released statements downplaying the significance of the gifts. Thomas also maintained that he wasn't required to disclose the trip. Harlan and Cassie Crow are among our dearest friends, Thomas wrote. As the friends do, we joined them on a number of family trips. Crow told ProPublica that his gifts to Thomas were no different from the hospitality he has extended to many other dear friends. It's unclear if Crow paid fair market value for Thomas' properties. Crow also bought several other properties on the street paid significantly less than his deal with Thomas. On example, in 2013, he bought a pair of properties on the same block, a vacant lot and a small house for a total of just $40,000. In his statement, Crow said his company purchased the properties at market rate based on the factors, including the size, quality, and livability of the dwellings. He did not respond to requests to provide documentation or details of how he arrived at the price. Thomas was born on the coastal hamlet in Pinpoint outside Savannah. He later moved to the city where he spent part of his childhood in his grandfather's home on East 32nd Street. In his hardwood floors, handsome furniture, indoor bathroom, we knew better than to touch anything, Thomas wrote of the house in his memoir, My Grandfather's Son. He inherited his stake in that house and 2 other properties on the block following the death of his grandfather in 1983. According to the records he filed at the Chatham County Courthouse, he shared ownership with his brother and his mother, Leola Williams, and in the late 1980s, when Thomas was official in George H.W. Bush administration, he listed the addresses of the 3 properties in disclosure filings. He reported that he had 1/3 interest in them. Thomas was confirmed to the Supreme Court in 1991. By early 2000s, he had stopped listing specific addresses for properties he owned in his disclosure, but he continued to report the holding a 1/3 interest in what he described as rental property at 1, 2, rental property at 1, 2, and 3 in Savannah. He valued his stake in the property at less than $15,000. 2 of the houses were torn down around 2010, according to the property records, and a footnote in Thomas' annual disclosure were archived by Free Law Project. In 2014, Thomas' family sold the vacant lots and the remaining East 32nd Street house to one of Crow's companies. The justice signed the paperwork personally. His signature was notarized by the administrator at Supreme Court, Perry Thompson, who did not respond to a request for comment. The deed was signed on the 23rd anniversary of Thomas' October 15 confirmation to the Supreme Court. Crow has a Senate roll call sheet from the confirmation vote in his private library. Thomas' financial disclosure for that year detailed listings, everything from stained glass medallion he received from Yale to life insurance policy, but he failed to report the sale to Crow. Crow purchased properties through a recently formed Texas company called Savannah Historic Development, LLC. The company shares an address in Dallas and Crow Holdings. The counterpiece of his records filed with the Texas Secretary of State says Savannah Historic Development is managed by Delaware LLC, HRC Family, Branch GP, an umbrella company that also covers the Crow assets like its private jet. The Delaware company's CEO is Harlan Crow. The Crow Holdings Company soon began paying the roughly $1,500 in annual property taxes on Thomas' mother's house, according to the county tax records. The taxes had previously been paid by Clarence and Jenny Thomas. Crow still owns Thomas' mother's home, which is now 94-year-old, continue to live in through at least through 2020. According to the public records on social media, two neighbors told ProPublica she lives there. Crow did not, his mother's still alive. Crow did not respond to the questions about whether he charged her rent. Soon after Crow purchased the house, an award-winning local architect from the firm received permits to begin $36,000 of improvements. Crow purchases seem to have played a role in transforming the block. The billionaire eventually sold most of the other properties he bought to new owners who built upscale modern homes, including the two vacant lots he purchased from Thomas. Crow also bought the house immediately next door to Thomas' mother, which was owned by somebody else that had been known for parties and noise, according to the property records. W. John Mitchell, former president of the Nearby Neighborhood Association. Soon the house was torn down. It was an eyesore, Mitchell said. One day, miraculously, all of them were put out there and they scraped it off the earth. The surrounding properties had fallen into disrepair and needed to be demolished for health and safety reasons, Crow said in his statement. He added that his company built one new house on the block and made it available to a local police officer. Today, the block is composed of a significant number of long-time elderly homeowners, growing population of young newcomers. The vacant lots that the Thomas family once owned have been replaced by two pristine two-story homes. A coffee shop and a Mediterranean bistro are within walking distance down the street. A multicolored pride flag blows in the wind. Thomas sold that man his mother's house and that mother property for more than what he paid for other properties around there. He put all them upgrades, carport, and all that other stuff in there so Thomas' mother can live comfortably. And I bet that his mother's not paying him one penny. Hence the reason Thomas stopped claiming those homes. Hence the reason he did not disclose that he sold those houses. Hence the reason, because like they said, he's supposed to disclose anything $1,000 or more. He didn't disclose all those expensive vacations that he is not always taking with Crow. Sometimes it's just him and his wife that is going. The man is a crook, but I'm sure I am no crook, Richard Nixon. He's a crook, but nothing's going to be done. That's all I got, Tyrone.
Yep, I agree. Clarence Thomas is he need to be impeached. I don't know what else to say besides he's full of corruption. His wife, his whole family. He's just making the judicial system look bad, the Supreme Court look bad. All of these gifts that he's not exposing from Harlan Quinn and God knows whoever else he's getting gifts from. How can you expect that man to sit up there on the bench and be fair and impartial whenever he's trying to interpret the law or whatever he's doing up there? Whenever he's taking gifts from a extremist right-wing person like Harlan Crow. Some more was revealed about Harlan Crow, saying that he collects Hitler memorabilia and supports like fascist stuff and all of that kind of stuff. So I think Clarence Thomas is corrupt and he needs to be impeached, in my opinion. But go ahead. Who want to go next? Angela?
I wanted to say, well, with Thomas, they consider him to be a traditionalist, meaning that when he interprets the law, he thinks that the Constitution means exactly what it says. So that's one of the reasons why they want to keep him there, because he's what they call a person who's more traditional when it comes to interpreting the law. But y'all know he got an RV too. He stay in the Walmart parking lot. Y'all must just see the video. I guess not.
And he's also a weirdo. I'm sorry, Tyrone, that's it. He's also a weirdo.
How about I didn't know? Oh, how about I didn't know what his wife looked like till last year? I didn't know he was married to an old white woman.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pull a picture up,
Jim
Tyrone.
Thomas.
Oh my God.
We know what he looked like. We know what she looked like.
Yeah.
Now I know.
I didn't know Kamala Harris married an old white man.
Okay, we ain't talking about Kamala Harris, so I don't know how you keep trying to.
Yeah, you'd rather not, would you? Consistency's not your strong suit.
Well, the story is about Clarence Thomas, and you can opine now, sir. It's your turn.
Okay, well, here, I'll make it quick because, I'm very succinct. Let me just listen up, quiet, and listen. Okay, the federal judiciary changed the rules on the required to disclose hospitality gifts last
changed
month.
That's right.
They changed it last month. These things happened before the rules were changed. Biden stayed at a donor's house who had a $20 million beachfront location on a private island. Hunter and Jill were there. Jill stayed for 3 weeks, and Joe's been doing this for 40 years. Now, if Clarence Thomas was not to recuse himself, if a case involving this man or his interests ever came before him on the bench, then yes, I would be disappointed if he didn't do that. But until he does, it doesn't bother me one bit. Not a bit. Hospitality gifts have never been required to be disclosed by any member of the federal judiciary. Unlike Elena Kagan, who argued a case when she was Solicitor General before the Supreme Court, and when an identical case came up before the Supreme Court, she didn't recuse herself. So I would say she had a conflict of interest, and she didn't take herself off it. So, I ain't got no problem with Clarence Thomas until he does something similar. And finally,
he did do something similar.
Justice Clarence Thomas, millions of dollars in diamonds, $3.5 million forgivable loans. Was he lying about taking classified documents to Chinatown? Were 51 of the most corrupt intelligence thugs this country's ever seen? Did they sign a letter saying this had the earmark of Russian disinformation? Until they do, maybe I'll get interested.
He didn't recuse himself when he knew he had to vote on that stuff that his wife was involved in. There you go.
That's true. That's true.
Mama,
it's a matter of ethics. It's a matter of ethics.
Well,
okay, Mama, go ahead.
It's so funny how a group of people could be discussing a particular topic, and a person could come in and talk about a totally different topic, and then accuse you of not wanting to talk about it because of something else when it's just totally off the subject. That was amazing.
but
we got an official referee, y'all. We got a referee.
But Clarence, I mean, this ain't nothing new. Clarence been doing this for a long time, and it's always been the norm because I mean he's got a lifetime appointment, and it takes a whole lot to impeach a sitting justice, So I mean, Tyrone. This is nothing new for Clarence Thomas. What's new is that now everybody knows about it, and he's catching some flack. But I'm like Sister Elisa. Probably nothing's gonna happen to him about it, but I could see when the Democrats get back control of the House or something, them trying to create some sort of check and balance for him. So maybe like, maybe like Inspector General or some sort of and changing it to where, it might be a little bit easier to get them up out of there when you find out that they just straight ass corrupt.
All right. So that was everybody.
Majority in the Senate, I guarantee you, they will remove him from office if they can get a bill of impeachment through. I guarantee you that. All they got to get 67 seats in the Senate, and he'll be gone. You ain't got to worry about it.
Well, Sarge,
that's why we ain't going to let him get it.
Okay, Sarge, well, let me ask you this right here. We heard your opinion on that, right? So what do you think about the overall story about him accepting gifts from this person?
I think I already answered it, but I'd be happy to do it again. Again, it was not required of anybody member of the federal judiciary to report hospitality gifts until last month. All of the incidents they're referring to happened long before that. So the fact that he takes a hospitality gift from a friend doesn't bother me at all, unless he wouldn't recuse himself if a case involving that individual came before him on the Supreme Court. Other than that, doesn't bother me a bit. Any more than it bothered me if a Democrat did the same thing.
It doesn't bother you that a Supreme Court judge is flying off to Indonesia at the cost of $500,000, and you don't think that judge could be influenced in any type of way, Sarge?
As I said, if that case involving that individual and or his organizations comes before him on the bench and he doesn't recuse himself for cause, then that would trouble me. Until then, I'm not worried. That's my answer.
Wow.
I can't be any clearer.
Okay, no, you clear that you one of these right-wing puppets. That's what it's clear about.
Well, that's why you denigrate me when you got no response, because you're a dumbass.
No,
well, I got a response. These Supreme Court justices take an oath so they don't do anything or live a life that even gives the suspect of impropriety. This is one of their oaths that they freaking take. And this is a Supreme Court justice who looks like he's on the tape. And that alone should trouble Sarge, Mr. Patriot, because no justice should look as if something improper is going on. They shouldn't even have the look of it, much less it actually be happening.
Well, I find your defense or your explanation of the ethics principle admirable. Now, I just like to see you apply it consistently.
So we all know that Sarge is a sucker for the Republican Party, and no matter how corrupt that party is, no matter how much corruption in Supreme Court justice show us, Sarge, you're just going to support him, and that's what's wrong with this country. You're supposed to be a lawman. That was your career, and now you just said to hell with the law.
So I'm so just givable on the man who I think is the best justice the Supreme Court has had in maybe over 100 years? I don't think so.
You think he's the best?
That sounds personal, Sarge. Them ain't the facts. That sounds personal. We talking about facts.
Yeah, I'm talking about the facts of his rulings. I've looked at his rulings, and they are completely consistent with not only the Constitution, but the original intent of the framers of the Constitution. That's why I say he's the best justice on the Supreme Court. He doesn't believe we have a living, breathing. He doesn't believe we have a living, breathing Constitution, and I really like that.
Well, Sarge, like I said,
we talking about Roe, Sarge. His opinion was that somehow or another he's going to attack contraceptives. So you agree with that shit too?
The contraception issue comes out of this mythical right to privacy that does not exist in the Constitution.
You the one said it. Argue with him.
And that's why
that he was the best motherfucker. You just said that he was the best Supreme Court justice, and he's got an opinion trying to attack contraceptions, and you're saying that you
didn't hear what I just said. You just completely ignored it, did you? I said it is based, Griswold versus Connecticut, which is what you're referring to, is based upon the idea of the right of privacy. which does not
No,
exist.
we are referring to words he said. That's what we're referring to.
It doesn't matter. The issue is
What do you mean it doesn't matter? That's the whole fucking
The
argument.
issue is constitutionality of an issue. That's the
No,
issue.
brother. No. The
I mean, if
issue
you're going to
is
talk about whether or not it is
that
allowed
Clarence
or
Thomas
disallowed by
said
the
it out of his
Constitution,
own damn mouth
whether
and in his
they
little writings,
regulate
and you
that
got a
is
problem with it. That's the issue.
okay. You're dealing with the intricacies of whether or not he likes contraception.
There's
And
no
that's what's
fucking
the issue.
intricacies here, bro. He wrote it. He said it. He feels this way.
That is a subsidiary consideration to the issue of privacy. Whether or not privacy, this mythical right of privacy, prevents a state from
Why are you
regulating
doing all
a
this
medication.
explaining?
That
Why are you
doesn't
doing all
issue
this
before the
explaining, man?
court.
We already understand what he said. Why you doing all
Regulate
this
a
explaining?
medication.
Why you going down the road about it? He the one said it. You take it up with him.
It doesn't matter.
You take it up with him, not with us.
Again, I don't care what he wrote about what he likes about. I'm concerned about the
I
right
know
of privacy.
you don't care. We already established that,
Not
Sarge.
whether he likes contraception or not.
Sarge, you are speaking based on feeling and opinion. We bringing up facts.
The rulings.
We bringing up straight facts that he corrupt. Period. Point blank. In the story. We didn't bring up no rulings or this. It's just he's look, dog. Look, man. Look. Sorry. I know this is why you don't like me, but I gotta say it anyway. Either you like his corrupt. Either you like his. Listen, Sarge. Either you like his corruption or you don't. Either you like his corruption or you don't.
I don't know what you're talking about when you rule on matters of constitutionality.
See, you bring in constitutionality in there. I'm saying this dude's a crook. This dude's a crook.
I mean, good God, Messi, now you're just narrating now.
Bro, this is a fact.
That's not a fact. The fact is whether or not the state has the right to regulate a medication despite the mythical right of privacy.
Bruh. We talking about Clarence Thomas and all his improprieties, and you seem to be standing on this one particular argument that you ain't really even got an argument for.
About something else now.
That's why you won't let me finish talking. That's why you won't let me finish talking. I get it.
Well, you're the one that brought up the Griswold versus Connecticut aspect.
Nobody brought up. Nobody on this line heard me use the word Griswold.
Well, you said contraception, and that's what the ruling was about. I know it. Now the audience does. What are you objecting to more knowledge?
Sarge, listen. I think you just covering up. You blocking me and covering up because you don't want to hear.
I know that's what you're
you
doing.
don't want to hear a word I say. I get it. I get it. That's why you're talking over me now. That's why you're talking over me now.
Sir, it's not a good look.
And how am I projecting? I haven't even been able to speak.
Because you said I'm doing about feelings. I'm trying to talk about the ruling, and then you go accusing me of going at my feelings. I'm talking about the ruling that Clarence wrote when he wrote his opinion,
which is really hard for you to do. It's really hard for you to listen to. Well, hey, if I can finish, then you might understand what I was saying. You can't harp on every word comes out my mouth without letting me finish. If you want to answer something I gotta say, you probably be best suited when you know everything I say instead of the one word that jumps you out. So back to what I was telling you, the real story here is that Clarence Thomas was the one who spoke about contraception, and gay marriage. The two things that they should go after they take care of Roe versus Wade. He said it. You arguing with us like we wrote it.
Okay. Just like what's his name wrote in the Plyer decision about birthright citizenship that gave us birthright citizenship. It was an advisory in the opinion. Plyer gave us birthright citizenship. Similarly, what Clarence Thomas wrote is what Justice Warren wrote in the Plyer decision. There's nothing new about it.
Bruh.
I'm just asking, do you agree with it? Do you agree with it?
I agree with it 100%.
What about the gay marriage?
You got my answer. If you want to argue with why you think I shouldn't feel that way, be my guest.
Okay, I got you. Do you think gay marriage should be rolled back?
Yes, it should be left to the states, not the federal government.
So wait a minute. So heterosexual marriage, is that like a state-run thing, or is that like a federal-run thing?
Let me say it again, sir. The Constitution is silent about marriage. The matter is for each individual state to regulate, as it has been for the entirety of this country until they came up with that corrupt Supreme Court decision.
Okay, so are you saying, listen, I want you to hear me out, so I don't want to argue with you, right? So are you saying that the heterosexual marriage between a man and a woman should be regulated by the states also?
100%. California can have its perverted rules, and Utah can have its own normative rules.
So you saying all marriage? Go ahead.
I'm going to say it. I say things clear, more clear than I'll anybody here. The federal government has no business regulating marriage. Marriage is an activity that has always been regulated by the states. Always. Until the Obergefell decision, that's another decision you can look up or not. The Obergefell decision is what gave us homosexual marriage.
What about interracial marriage?
That was decided in Virginia versus Loving by the Supreme Court. They said the 14th Amendment forbids miscegnation laws.
So that's okay, interracial marriage?
Okay, I just answered the question. Supreme Court decided the issue in 1967. Virginia versus Loving.
He was so ready to take his feelings before.
And by the way, I agree with that decision. They are
there you go. That's what we trying to find out. After your long ass fucking dissertation, at the end of the day, we just trying to figure out what you think about it.
And I answered clear as a bell.
Yeah, after your long ass soliloquy, I had time to go make a song.
For it rather than just a narration.
Bro, ain't nobody narrated. What did I narrate? Oh, I did narrate. Hold on. Wait a minute, Sarge. Wait a minute. I did narrate how Justice Thomas said in his own damn writings how now that they've gotten rid of Roe, they need to start looking at contraception and gay marriage to be next. He said it. You went on another dissertation about something else, missing the subject. Bringing you back to the subject was my goal. I think I did it.
Okay. Let's look at what he actually said, because now that seems to be in contention. What he actually
said. You are the person in contention with it.
What he actually said, what you say he said or what I said he said. What should matter is what he actually said, right? So let's look at what he said. What he said was
another long ass dissertation. Go ahead, son.
And so you don't want to know the truth, do you? That's obvious.
I said go ahead.
You just rather narrate and tell us what the man said.
Is this thing on? Is it working?
He did not say he was going to strike down homosexual marriage next. He said it was open to visitation again.
That's what I said. He said they need to start looking at it. That's exactly what I said. What you said. You the one added the extra shit. I don't need no motherfucker catch up with my shit.
So that is
now, sorry. Now he was. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get in here right quick.
Listen. That bears peripherally on the main issue at hand.
Okay, so listen, Sarge. He was specific about homosexual marriage. He didn't say all marriage. And that's what I'm asking you from your perspective. Should only homosexual marriage be addressed?
I don't know if it should or shouldn't. Here's what I know. if it comes before the Supreme Court as to whether or not the federal government has a right to impose a uniform rule of homosexual marriage on 50 states and territories in the Union, I say that issue should be revisited, and I would be for them repealing that decision of Obergefell. That's not a long-winded narrative. That's an answer.
So so you're okay with straight marriages, but the homosexual marriage should be revisited and appealed if
If
it
the state
shows
wants
up.
to strike it down, yeah, I'm all for it. If the state wants to have it, let them have it. That's what I'm for. The state's making the decision.
So what about interracial marriage?
What I just addressed that. You didn't hear me? Let me repeat it again in case you didn't hear me. The Supreme Court of the United States in 1967, Virginia versus Loving, decided that issue already. And I agree with it. Miscegnation laws are unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment.
Okay, so you agree with the Virginia versus Loving,
For the
but for
fourth
some
time
reason
now,
you
yes, I do. I agree with it.
but for some reason you want to repeal homosexual marriage. Why do you want to repeal
If
a right
states
that's
do, yes, I do. I keep saying if the states do through their legislative bodies, then yes, I do. If the same states wish to retain them, then that's okay by me if they make the decision, even though I still think they ought to all be repealed.
okay?
That's my answer, and you can't be clearer than that. Other than agree with you, which I ain't gonna do.
Yeah, I think you're a weirdo, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, homosexual marriage, that's the law of the land because that's been traditional in the United States.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Man, people need
Let's go
to
back to
let people
norms.
be happy.
Let's go back to norms. Deviant marriage.
Let people be happy, man. Why can't people be happy?
I think Sarge puts ketchup on his steak.
Put ketchup
I'll bet
on
you
his
do.
what?
You got all kind of fantasies, don't you?
On his steak.
Buddy boy.
He's one of them kind of dudes that put ketchup
Tell
on
me
their
about more
steak.
of your fantasies, why don't you?
He a weirdo. Put ketchup on his steak.
Okay. What else?
Well, Sarge, we're gonna see where you stand at when all these things drop on Donald Trump. Whenever he get charged in Georgia, whenever Jack Smith do what he do, and if you still standing behind that man and he's a criminal, I don't know what the hell to tell you, Sarge.
And it only
You
makes
just
my
lost.
support for him stronger than ever. I was willing to consider DeSantis for this, but now this has got to be resolved. This is injustice of the highest order. And
Well, I
remember, there
have
are
a
millions of
question. I have
eyes
a
on this. They better jot every tittle and cross every T and dot every I because millions of eyes are on this one. They're not going
I
to be
have a
able to
question.
get away with the usual jive.
I have a question for Sarge. I know that sounds crazy, but if this E. Jean Carroll case proves that Donald Trump did slander this woman, he did rape this woman, and he has to pay. I mean, I pretty much I think I know the answer you're gonna give. I mean, would that give you some sort of resolve knowing that this man is a rapist and a denial of rape and a slanderer? Huh?
Okay, I'll answer it, but I want to get one question I got before I answer because I'm going to give you an answer. How is he proved to be a rapist? On her word alone, or what is the evidence to
I
convince that he's
said
a rapist?
if it's proven, that means to go through the whole case, and at the end of the day, it's proven. I don't know how. What are you asking me that for? Fucking movie
Okay, I
writers?
can answer now. I can answer. If he is proven to be a rapist by credible, objective evidence, then I will withdraw my support for him as president. If and when that happens, get back to me.
A rapist? Who does Donald Trump allegedly raped? That woman up in the
Nutcase woman who said that all women want to be raped. Her name is E. Jean Carroll. She wrote it in an essay. All women really want to be raped. She's a lunatic.
We're going to find out because the trial starts next week.
Is that the woman who he allegedly raped up in the Bergdorf?
Right, the lady that says the lady she's the lady that said he raped her in a dressing room.
Yeah, Bergdorf and
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I think this trial is only about defamation. It ain't about the rape though.
No, see, they got two different ones. So, because they gonna go to court again over it in September. But I think the one that's coming up is like you said, Tyrone. This is the one he was deposed for and did all that same answer, pleading the fifth. This was what he was deposed. Now the trial starts. So this is the civil trial.
Now in the trial, since it is civil, all that rape evidence can be bought out, but I don't think he's gonna be held accountable even if it is proven. Who's this unknown caller?
Yeah, Bergdorf and Goodman. That's the name of the store. I can never remember the name of that store.
Come on, guys.
I was shocked.
Can I
Is
say
it
something? This woman is not nuts. This woman was a very successful, well-off TV show host, very similar to Sally Jesse Raphael around the same time.
Yeah.
Was so excellent.
Go ahead.
She was so excellent, so funny. She was like a combination of Jenny Jones, which is more humorous, and Sally Jesse Raphael, which could go either way, depending on what the guests were saying. I almost said ghosts. What the guests were saying. And she never denied the story. She was scared crapless because she wanted a career in entertainment, and she knew that he personally would destroy her. She was an attendant at a very posh, elegant, very expensive department store in New York City, and he came in there very late. You know, sometimes they hold the store open for, quote-unquote celebrities or whatnot. For whatever reason, they kept the store open for him, and she was helping him get clothing, make a purchase, what have you. In the midst of her working as a young lady, he raped her. And she told very few people about it because she was afraid that she would never be able to get the career that she wanted. Years later, she kind of dropped away from her television show, but she kept, with her radio shows and her books and what have you. So when she made smart, silly comments, dare I say, sexy comments, she was not no nut. No pun intended, but she was just being a host of a talk show. So you can't apply that to her. Very similar to the young basketball player girl who looks like a man now, but when she was a kid, she was a beautiful young lady, and because of the trauma that Cosby did to her, I'll say allegedly, I don't feel like fighting, she looks like what she is now, because that's what happens to a lot of women when they get raped as young ladies. I am done.
And Dixie, I believed her. I believed her because when she was telling the story, at first I thought it was a joke. I was like, you just jump on that woman in Bergdorf. But I believe her. I believe you did that. I do. I really do. Even though it's alleged, I believe it.
Right, but the problem was it was after hours and nobody was there. So they hold that against her. Like a very few people.
Well, and another thing, I'm just speaking from memory here. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. She told the story, and what she explained is she kind of liked Donald Trump, and that's where it all gets fuzzy because they just went into the dressing room to make out, but she didn't know what was waiting on her as soon as that door closed. Because as soon as the door closed, he already had his shit out and going up in her. And so she said she said no and stomped, and he came out and she ran out the dressing room. So that's just, sounds like no to me. If a woman stomps,
Trump, in the Access Hollywood tape, Trump told us what he do. I don't know why charging them ain't taking that man for his fucking word. Jesus, he's
because
a fucking
the
racist.
statement on the tape was conditional. damn it. You keep
It wasn't
ignoring.
conditional.
And he
It
came into the
wasn't
It
office.
was conditional. If you are a big celebrity, they will let you. Note operative word. Let means consensual. They will let you grab them by the pussy. But you
Okay,
keep
that's
ignoring
not
that.
what he said. That's not what
That
he
is what
said.
he said.
That is not.
what he said.
You're
Okay,
conflating
Sarge.
two different parts
Sarge,
of the
hold
conversation.
on, mama's boy. Sarge, listen, let's use logic here about what you just said. Do you know anybody, and you're not a celebrity, do you know anybody that will let you do that to them?
No.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me, sir. You ever heard of a
No, I'm
groupie?
just answer my questions because I got a further question.
Don't you know what the word groupie means?
Well, you're
Okay, so I'm asking you one more time. You're avoiding my question.
Out of bragging how there are sexual groupies for celebrities.
Okay, so
Are you
I'm asking you one
ignoring
more
what I'm
time.
just saying? There are women out there
more
who
time.
make a living based on bragging about how they have sex with celebrities.
Always thinking
Okay, so so you're speaking. So the reason I'm asking you like this is because you're speaking for.
You just want to ignore it.
Sarge, listen to what I'm saying. The reason I'm asking you is because you're speaking about celebrities and you're speaking about groupies, and I'm assuming that you're not neither one, right? So I'm asking you
If I don't
personally.
know about it,
Okay,
if I
can
don't
I
know one
please
personally,
finish?
then I can't speak about it. Is that it? If I
Okay, so
don't
I'm
know one
asking you.
personally, then I have no knowledge of it.
Okay, so you don't know anybody that. Okay, so
No,
you don't
I
know
don't know
nobody.
anybody personally. Then no, I
Okay,
don't.
okay. Hold on. Okay, you nigga, can you not do that when I speak? Okay, so you don't know nobody that will let you do that, right? So I'm going to ask you.
I said I don't, but I know of it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, would you let somebody do that to you?
Now you're getting ridiculous. No.
Oh, no.
I'm asking, would you let somebody, grab you? Wait a minute, nigga. Hold on. Would you let somebody grab you by your genitalia without your permission?
No, I'm not a groupie.
Okay, so now we gotta establish ground point for how humans respond to each other. You said that you don't know anybody that will let them grab them by the and you yourself will not allow that to happen to you. So why are you excusing Donald Trump's behavior by saying that he's a celebrity and groupies do A, B, and C when you don't shut the fuck up, nigga? I know it hurts. I know it hurts in this country, boy. I know it hurts in this country, boy.
Proven nut.
Okay, so now I know it hurts when this country boy be using logic. So shut the fuck up.
I just answered your question and you won't respond to it. I know.
He knows about nuts.
Okay, well, I'm done.
Well, there you go,
Tyrone. Answer the question. You've got no response.
There you go. And for the record, every groupie will not let you grab them by their genitalia.
Now, have you conducted a survey of groupies that you know this?
Well, Sarge, hold on.
No, I'm talking about groupies that I know.
Hold on, Sarge. Well, I've lived a little bit different life than you have, Sarge. So I've been around groupies. I've been in that scene. I've been around them, and groupies. The reason why they call them groupies is because it's a group of people that are probably starstruck by different people. So, like, if that groupie isn't starstruck about you, you can't grab them by the pussy. You can't do it. Okay. Now let's get back to Donald Trump and his words, the actual words. I don't know them verbatim, but the whole conversation went. But he told the guy, when you're a celebrity, people will let you just do whatever you want. And the guy started laughing, and he started laughing. And Donald Trump said, "I just grab him by the pussy." So if you put it in context, like it's supposed to be, like it was set up on, the commercial, if you want to put it, Donald Trump said his version of dealing with groupies is to grab them by the pussy.
Hey, can I say
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
In a different transcript. I'm going to get the transcript out in audio tape, and I don't think you're right.
Hold on, Sarge. Let Elisa say something.
Many of people have been caught off being a groupie. A groupie. What is all this noise in the
Wait a minute,
background?
hold on, Angela. I'm gonna mute your line for a second. Go ahead.
Many of people have been caught off. And you could consider them a groupie at that time. I myself have never been like overly groupie-ish over any entertainer. But there was one instance. I'll tell you all about this one instance. It was with my soon-to-be ex, but he was my soon-to-be husband. My ex now. We went to a show, big show, and he said, let's cut through this particular hallway that we could come out on. It's too long a story. So we were able to make it down that hallway at the arena. You weren't supposed to go down that way. And the person we went to see at that concert came walking out. I was like, oh my God, it's him. And he was like no more than 2-3 feet away from me. And I was like, that's him. And my cousin was like, yeah, I can see that. That's him. I was like, that's him. And he looked up. I mean, I could have just reached out, just touched him. He was like a couple of feet away. And he looked at me and he smiled. He said, yeah, it's me. And I was like, oh my God. Now, this person is about my height. He has since passed. He's about my height. I'm 5'4". So y'all should know who I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm 5'4". He's my height. Rest in peace, Your Highness.
But that's not a groupie though. That's not a groupie.
Yeah,
that's not a groupie. That's a fan.
Yeah, but I was acting groupie-ish. But if he had reached out and grabbed my genitals, he would have been slapped. Fight would have broke out with security.
Right. So that's a fan. Right.
That's a fan. So you can't just assume that, and I just grab him up by the genitals.
Well, first of all, Miss Elisa, you gotta know what the hell you talking about first, and that therein lies the problem. Because first of all, that's one thing you learn really fast in the industry is that every groupie don't like you, and if you go grabbing everybody by their genitals, you gonna have some lawsuits to deal with. Okay. So what?
Sarge is justifying sexual harassment, and I mean, I don't know why he'll do anything for Donald Trump. Sarge, what you justifying is violating somebody's privacy, dude. I mean, it's funny to listen to you, but I mean, shit, come on, man. You know you're not supposed to touch nobody without their permission. Come on, man.
Again, the statement is conditional based upon consent. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to change my mind on it because I heard what the man said. In fact, I'm going to pull up the audio so you can listen to yourself.
Wait a minute. Hi.
Oh, God.
Just grab somebody and you got consent. Somebody is giving you consent. Just like I was a fan standing out because His Purple Highness was right there in front of me. He doesn't know if I'm a groupie, if I would allow him to do this or whatever. So that's BS that you're talking, Sarge. It's BS.
So if someone lets you grab them by the pussy, then you're saying it's not consensual.
Because you taught them all.
So if someone lets you do it, that's not consensual in your mind. Because it's Donald Trump and you want to get it.
Well, first of all, just because someone doesn't stop you when you do it doesn't mean it's consensual. You probably surprised the fuck out of them. They idle and they fucking molesting you. They might not know what to fucking do. So that doesn't make sense, sir. What the fuck you saying?
That don't make no sense. It's bull BS. Come on.
See, that tells you he don't know what he's talking about. Because even celebrities gonna tell you that shit is scary as hell. A motherfucker that'll let you do it.
Why don't we listen to the transcript of the New York Times rather than you and I arguing about what it says? Why don't we listen to what the New York Times, who does not like Trump, let's
Bro,
listen
I
to the
I don't need to do that.
transcript.
I don't need to do that.
Every
But
time I get ready to
I'm
break
trying
back,
to answer
we
you.
don't need to hear that. Just
I'm
let us
trying
give
to
our
answer
opinion.
you. I'm trying to answer you, sir. I don't really need it, but if you want to, I'm not
From the
gonna
New
stop.
York Times.
Listen, one more time for the hard of hearing. I don't really need it, but if you want to, go right ahead, Sarge. I
All
don't
right,
give a damn.
Bush, it better not be the publicist. No, it's her, it's Trump. Yeah, that's her with the gold. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Bush, whatever you want. Trump, response. That is the response. Grab him by the pussy. You can do anything. That's in the context of they will let you do anything. Now, that's from the transcript. That's not my opinion about it.
Reading is fundamental, man.
Now, can you describe? Now, wait. Hold on. Since you so damn thorough, since you like to play like you so thorough, describe the conversation, because there was some pauses there. Like when he says grab him by the pussy, there was a long ass pause, and you could tell he like got face to face to her and said it. So describe the conversation.
I'm just trying to keep things brief, but why don't we just read the whole damn transcript then?
Why don't you just play the video? Play the video. That's a lot easier.
Leaving something out?
Hey, no, Sarge. To be honest with you, your droning ass voice gonna put me to sleep. So play the video.
And you don't want the truth. You care
Play the video. Play the video. No. Hey, Sarge, you can do your due diligence and go find the video. Go find the video and play that.
You could care less about the truth.
Go find the video so we can hear it in context. That's what you do.
You don't give a damn about what the facts are.
Yeah. You just want to listen to yourself. Drone on and on.
Listen to the facts.
I don't trust you reading.
Well,
go get the video.
You're corrupt.
You can't read anyway.
Well, Tyrone, can I say this? Just because he's saying they will let you, that does not prove consent. I don't give a shit what Sarge.
Thank you. It doesn't prove rape.
You see? That was my whole goddamn point.
It doesn't prove rape either.
This is exactly
It does.
All right. So let's see if we can hear it. And then you. This is crazy, Sarge. I don't believe you defending this crap here.
I know. I'm defending the facts. What you guys are doing is trying to twist them and distort them.
Can y'all hear that? Hold on. Can you hear that?
No, Nancy. No, this was. What am I?
Okay, so let's see if you can hear it. Hold on for a second.
Now, I thought just a minute ago this was too long. Now all of a sudden it's the right length. Okay, whatever.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because you was reading it, nigga. Hold on.
Moved on her.
Yeah, I went right to the relevant words. That's what I did.
Okay, why you interrupted
Just shut
it,
up, Sarge.
Stop interrupting it. Jesus Christ, because you a fucking liar. Hold on for a second.
No, this was and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I got to use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Pull the hell.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Okay, so what you just heard right there was non-consensual.
Exactly what I read. Exactly.
What you did?
I don't know. I had to be lying. You don't trust me, and I can't
You
said
can't read.
Okay, so
I'm the one that can't read, and I just.
Sarge, listen, you just only want your opinion to be heard. So can you please let other people give their opinion? Because you're wrong. That was non-consensual. Go ahead, Alicia.
He said that is something. What you read?
I swear to God, man, you people are you are cognitively
Sarge.
dissonant. I swear to God, you are.
Okay, well, I tell you what. This is what we're gonna do. I can't do this. So I'm gonna open up the lines. Alicia, you can talk, but I can't yell over this.
Hey, I want to say something before you open the line. What said I
Go ahead.
even
What he read and what we heard, he read what we heard, and that does not prove consent.
That's not
right.
Consent.
You didn't say I don't. Wait a minute. That's,
Yeah, but it's proof of rape, though, isn't it? It's proof of rape,
Sarge,
though.
please.
I swear to God, you people are cognitively dissonant. There's no other word for it. For praise.
I believe.
Stop yelling. Because
Lisa.
that does not prove consent. It sounds very
I like
racist. It does.
What are you accusing me of? Making an obscene comment? You want to confess me for that? You people are crazy.
Can I say something?
That's what that sounds like.
Well, he makes a false comment. Oh, God, let's put him in jail for rape. Because some nutcase accuses him of it.
Sorry, can you please stop that? Can you please stop
Please.
that? Go ahead.
Can I
Gigi.
please? He said, I don't even wait.
Yep.
That's not consent.
Thank you.
And I don't remember him saying it either. I don't remember Sarge reading that.
Yeah.
Damn, Gigi.
Yes.
Damn.
Did you read that part, Sarge?
No, he didn't read that part.
I'm from New York, son.
And New York hates Trump. New York hates Trump.
Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time so everybody can hear it. Hold on.
Turn it up loud, please, and mute him.
Moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa. I did try and fuck her. She was married.
Huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy. No, this was marriages, and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there, and she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Pull the ham.
Yep, he said, I don't even wait. You can do anything.
I don't even wait.
So there you go.
The type of stuff that women have been putting up with since the beginning of women putting up with it. And I can't believe anybody's going to think this.
So this is proof of it, the fact that he rapes. This is proof. The fact that he said he doesn't wait for a kiss is proof that he rapes.
Hey,
can I get in here? That sounds like Gigi English.
Can I get in here? It sounds like conspiracy to commit sexual assault. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, thank you.
What did he conspire with now?
George.
Oh, God. You have
to have two people for a conspiracy. Who's the other conspirator? Two people more.
If we're talking about this instance, it's that guy on the bus. Because he's actually.
Now we've gone into the realm of the absurd.
If you actually listen to it again,
conversation, okay? Now we're in the realm of the ridiculous.
If you listen to the conversation, he actually eggs Trump on.
Conspiracy with the guy who's talking about something of his opinions and his experiences, and that makes it Billy Bush a co-conspirator. Lord have mercy. I hope you never wind up on a Manhattan jury.
He encouraging him how to treat women.
He's encouraging it. Billy Bush sure lost his job off that too. So I mean, he lost his job. Nothing to Trump. But Billy
I guess I wasn't the only person saw the conspiracy then.
But yeah,
I don't know why Sarge would defend that. I mean, it's clear that man is a fucking pervert. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that one.
And I think, also, this is exactly why cops in New York have no discretion whatsoever, because women have been ignored for so many years, and they just have to deal with it, the pain and the trauma of sexual assault, because people like other people here will ignore them and make a horrible situation worse. I am done.
Exactly. That is just awful to sit here as a woman and listen to that and listen to someone. We're not saying that that's proof that he raped anyone. No one is saying that.
Well, you're saying it, but others said it was.
Nobody
But
said
that's
that
not what-
proved that he raped any guy. We were just trying to give you his mindset, Sarge. Good Lord.
You
That's the
guys got
mentality.
memories like dogs, and we just said a minute ago. Do I need to say who said it? They said it was proof that he raped.
Okay, well,
said
who
that?
said it?
Who said it?
I didn't. I didn't hear Tyrone.
I didn't say you
or
said it.
Mama's boy.
I said you
Well,
didn't
who
say
said
it.
it, motherfucker?
Wait, Mama's boy said it.
I said
Mama's boy-
conspiracy.
You know, you mentioned
Oh,
that
God.
after you said it proved that he raped.
No, I didn't even fucking say that, dumb motherfucker. I said what I said. You heard it.
That's why I knew you were going to do this shit. That's why I didn't want to.
Okay, so we all in agreement that don't prove that he
Fuck you,
raped
nigga.
him.
I'm through with your ass tonight. I'll come back for you another day. I can't. Now we know we cannot have a conversation because you're full of shit. You're cognitively dissonant and you're stupid as hell. Good night.
What the fuck? What's wrong with that man?
Did he take
Jesus
his
Christ. Yeah, he hung up. But look, I'm gonna open the line, Miss Alicia. Thank you, Gigi,
Yeah,
Angela,
guys.
Mama's boy.
Miss Alicia.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
I can't believe we sat here and argued something as awful as that. I cannot believe that that's what happened tonight. That we argued
What?
that.
That's a cult follower. I mean, if you're in a cult, then you're gonna follow your cult leader.
And you
And you're gonna
definitely gonna
defend
hear what
that.
you want to hear.
Yep. So
And
I
no,
mean,
Mama's
I don't know
boy
why
did not say. And Mama's boy did not say that proved that Trump raped anybody. No one said
Right.
that.
Yeah, we were just trying to
Nobody
show how
said
big of a
that.
creep he was because he's a big ass creep.
Well, all I say is it proves that he'll sit around and conspire to rape somebody. That's a totally different subject.
It's a totally different thing. No one said that. That's just how he is. And I
And-
said
and-
that I believe the woman, but what he's allegedly accused of. But we didn't say that right there. That just shows that his mindset. That's what that
He's-
is. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
he'll sit there and conspire with somebody else and crack jokes. You know, hey, when you're a celebrity, man, they'll let you do what they want, man. You know, and the guys sitting there talking about they'll let you do what you want. You know, I mean,
don't forget about he said I be on him like a bitch.
yeah. I don't even wait. You know what I'm saying? So he's telling Billy Bush. He's telling Billy Bush, when you're a star, you can do what I do. That sounds like two people conspiring to me. I don't know. Am I wrong?
And the crazy thing is they still voted for this motherfucker after that. I can't believe that.
And Billy,
That's
and
nuts.
Tyrone, and because Billy Bush laughed and went along with it, he
Right.
lost his job. He lost his job off that.
Yep. I don't know.
And that's
You know.
even what he was there for. He was there to do an interview with him and another lady, and he ended up losing his job.
Over Donald Trump ass. Donald Trump sucked up in. He sucked somebody else into losing their job.
It's crazy. I mean, he lost his job sitting there talking to that man. And it's just awful. And Sarge is trying to argue that. It was, he got consent. Where was consent?
I mean, I don't blame him for firing him, because who would take him serious?
Well, That's why I heard on the show this morning. That's why that's why he was attacking LeBron James, because whenever everybody started saying that was locker room talk, LeBron James was the one that came out and said, "We don't talk like that in the locker room. I have a wife and I have a daughter and I have females in my family." He said, "We don't talk like that in the locker room," and that's why Donald Trump started attacking LeBron James.
LeBron, yeah. Hey, look, Donald been showing his ass since the 80s.
Yeah.
And one day that shit was gonna catch up with him.
I'm still at a loss why they don't hold this man accountable and why they treating him with kid gloves. I get because he was the ex-president and all that kind of stuff, but at some point in time, because this guy is still threatening people, he's still on his social media trying to send his groupies after people. Alvin Bragg's got a couple of letters with white powder in it because of Donald Trump. I don't know why they just don't go ahead and just slam the damn book at that motherfucker.
See, I was listening to some people talk about that, and the judge doesn't want to lose anything on appeal. So he has a certain way that he gags people, and they was explaining that he hasn't even given an order yet. He's only given, sort of like everybody be on their best behavior, like a warning. So the next he has to give the order, and then it gets into the realm of contempt of court. Come show me why I shouldn't charge your client with contempt. So it's like steps he's got to do, and it looks like it's taking him forever. But he don't want to lose the shit on appeal.
I got a different opinion about that. I think the judge didn't offer no gag order because he knows Donald Trump is gonna keep digging a goddamn hole, and he is. But I'm just saying
over and over.
I'm just saying that somebody should have done something about this man already. In the impeachment trial, he was guilty as shit. In the impeachment trial, he was guilty as shit both times. I don't know why America ain't holding this man accountable.
I think America's holding him accountable, but I don't think the people up there that can hold him accountable is moving quick enough. And I think it's because of that 30% that he got locked in.
Well, see, you had witnesses hear him on the phone with Zelensky trying to fucking influence the election.
Right. The 11,000 vote thing, yeah.
No, I'm talking about when he called the Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. Right. Hell yeah.
So he's guilty of that. So I don't know why they don't just fucking hold this man accountable.
Man, at that time, Tyrone, Donald Trump had all them white boys up there locked. He had them locked down, man. They wasn't gonna move against him during that impeachment time. It's like he had something on all of them. None of them would say anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You couldn't get a peep out of nobody.
Well, guys, I'm getting ready to call it a night. I can't believe that we were arguing such a filthy comment such as that with a man that has had a wife that he loves, who has grandchildren and other women in his life. I can't believe that. Shame on you, Sarge. Shame on you. And so good night, guys, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Y'all have a good one and a safe weekend.
You did a good show.
You too.
All right.
But look, I'm getting ready to get off here too. So YouTube, I'm getting ready to shut you down, and I'm just gonna leave the phone lines open. If y'all want to call in, just call into the number to the conference call. That's gonna be open. So good night, YouTube.